Well, hello. It is a very young Friday evening, and we have some fine human beings that are already here, which is great. Starting with Pat S. Yes, you will see us soon. Janet from another planet. How are you, Janet? And Courtney too. Well, hello. It's Courtney's Fellowship of the Oddballs. Nice to see you, Courtney. Thank you for dropping in.
Two ladies.
Yeah, right. I know, right? This is a landmark. So, for those of you who do not know, assuming most of you do, but just in case, we've got a few fine individuals here on the panel with me, particularly my regulars. Hey, Diego Flores, hello to you, sir. My buddy right under me, Geek Tropology, aka Mr. Pablo. How are you?
Hey everyone!
What is that?
Oh man!
Oh man! Today I ate too much. My mom made this corn casserole with chicken, and
Oh.
I had to adjust my seat to be a bit inclined so I can. Damn. I know this is bad for my health, but damn it was so good.
There you go, man.
Some things are worth fighting for, Pablo. Some things are worth fighting for.
Right.
And D Bud Martin. What's
D-Bud.
up, D Bud? Nice to see you here, man. Always glad to see you coming around these chats. Thank you. Diego. Nick, if Pablo crosses the line, just say zap. That is our word in me. Okay. You got it, dude. You got it. And look at that, guys. Leading by example here, our excellent Janet from another planet. Don't know which one yet, but maybe one day we'll find out the conspiracy behind it. But meanwhile, until we find that out, lead by example and be awesome like Janet. Oh, you guys are great. Awesome. And of course, to my left, I mean, if you're in this chat, you all know him, but we're still going to give him a proper introduction anyway. He goes by Benjamin Grimm on the YouTubes, and he has a wonderful catchphrase. It's clobbering time. Well,
Thanks,
hello,
man.
Bobby. Yeah.
Thanks for having me, man. Hello. Look at all these fantastic people here.
Right.
In the chat, D-Bud. What's up, buddy? The great Pat S. is here.
Mm-hmm.
Janet. We have ladies here, Janet and Courtney. Wow. Isn't that nice? Diego. What's up, dude?
I love it. Love it.
Nice crowd.
Yeah, we do. I love it. No, thank you guys for tuning in early, especially since I know like Doomcock is going on, and I know Paulie has got his karaoke going on as
He just
well.
got done. He's done now.
Oh, he just got done.
Mhm.
All right, and Friday Night Tights is at the tail end of their whole spiel. So,
Right.
And of course, the Cocktail Lounge is not far from now. So, thank you guys for tuning in. So, I don't know where Jed is at, but we're just gonna get right to it with or without the Jed. So,
Probably asleep.
hopefully, yeah, probably asleep. Even at the nighttime of. So he's on Pacific, so it would be 7:05 for him right now. Oh my God,
Yeah,
Jed.
that's right.
Oh,
that's his
guy.
sleepy time right there.
Siesta time.
I had pizza right before us. Me and my missus, we had pizza, and
Nice.
yeah, we watched Loki, and then we watched some Bluey, and I will say I can't believe how entertaining Bluey actually is. Believe it or not, that show is super entertaining. I can't believe I'm watching and I don't have the children around. So, oh, look at that. Keely Chow in the house.
Roll Tide, Keely.
Yeah, Roll Tide indeed. What's going on with you, Keely? I had pizza. Oh, look at that. Yeah, watch some shows with the missus.
Me too.
And
My son made pizza.
Oh, did he really?
He makes these little pita bread pizzas that my mom made some really great pulled pork brisket last night, and for the leftovers of that, he made a pizza out of it. I'd never had before. Man, well, actually, I had two. Talk about good. I mean, the pork was good enough when we had those pork sandwiches last night. The pulled pork, barbecue. and it made an amazing pizza.
Nice, dude. That sounds delicious. So that I can see that leading to a great food coma. Hey, Pat S, don't worry, man. I'm just glad you're here. That's what matters.
Oh man, Pat S is the man.
I emailed Mexican Iron Man the Iron Man fan book I wrote. I found out he grew up in my neck of the woods. Small time.
War Eagle. Oh, we got an Alabama war going on there. That means, of course, we have Roll Tide. That's Alabama Crimson Tide, and War Eagle means the Auburn Tigers, aka War Eagles. So we got some rivalry there, but
we got rivals in the chat.
Sorry to bring sports up, man.
No, dude. I told you. I like my old school NFL, and I'm a Sox fan.
I love old NFL.
Yeah, dude. Old NFL is where it's at. I mean, I don't want to go into a deep dive, but I mean, there's ever time I'm going to talk about NFL. I'm going to talk about Lombardi and Unitas.
Let's do it, man.
That's when there was the NFL championship era, dude. That's
dude. Let's do it sometime, man. Because I have nobody to talk about NFL, and I love it, man.
Well, then we're made for this.
You're a Bears fan, right? I guess it's up there.
Oh yeah, I mean, of course. You know when they used to win they used to win the NFL championship all the time when it was called the NFL championship, and of course we had the '85 Bears when they were the 15-1 team when they beat. I know the chat's going, why are these guys talking about sports?
I remember them now. They beat the Patriots. You know where they beat those Patriots? In my New Orleans, in my Superdome, 45-10.
Well, what's funny was because they beat the Patriots in the bowl, but the thing is, they didn't want to play the Patriots in the bowl. They wanted to play the Dolphins because that was the one team that they lost to.
I remember it well. I watched that game, and I knew the Dolphins were going to beat them somehow, but I was actually pissed because I kind of liked the '85 Bears until they did the Super Bowl shuffle, and I was mad at them and wanted them to lose the Super Bowl. Hated that Super Bowl shuffle.
Yeah, I've heard about it. I've watched endless videos about it, and I could see where you're coming from. Now, of course, I love the Ice Bowl. I used to have watched the old NFL Ice Bowl. Man, those guys are raging out there. So Nick, good.
We have a frog around.
Oh yes, we have a frog and we have a Fenrir. So we're gonna let them in the chat. Right, Fenrir, what's up, dude?
Hey, what's up, gang?
You alive?
How you guys doing?
We're doing good, man. How are you?
Well, I'm pretty great. I mean, I already finished my semester classes. I'm completely free. My boss gave me a couple of free comic books for finishing it, but he kind of gave me the crap of the barrel. I mean, for Christ's sakes, he gave me this. I mean, it's a retelling of Spidey's story, but it's not that great, honestly. So gave me this. I was hoping for something with Kirby in it.
You have to go farther back than that, bro, for some Kirby. But yeah, I hear you. I'm with you. I'm with you. Keely Chow, Cowboys.
The Bears.
What's wrong with you? The Bears. Screw the Jerry Jones Cowboys. I love the Staubach ones from the '70s, Tom Landry, but.
Nah, Dan Marino was good. I mean, he was a good player.
Yeah. See, Pat S, I love you, and you know I love Archie Manning, but Dan Marino's the greatest quarterback without a ring.
Oh man, I cannot wait to do an old school NFL stream. You got me pumped for that, man. So, I'm so in. So okay.
The closest I know to the NBA is Space Jam and maybe the Chicago Bulls.
Oh, well, I lived in Chicago during that whole spiel, man. During the 91 through 3, 6 through 8. I was living in the heart of Chicago. Actually, all right, one more sports story, and then we'll talk comics, I swear. And we'll introduce Jed, by the way, who's weighing in the chat.
Who? Never heard of him.
So I was 9 years old at the time. This was the year that the Bulls were 72-10 in the NBA finals against the Seattle Supersonics. So remember when Kmart was relevant and they used to have a super Kmart the way we have super Walmarts now? So I was 9 years old and I was living in a town you may have heard of, Svengoolie called Berwyn. Mm-hmm. And I was running around super Kmart and I bump into a guy and I fall on the ground. He helps me get back up. And he hears me. He's like, hey, you okay, man? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And I look up and it's Scottie Pippen. 9-year-old Nick bumped into Scottie Pippen. So
there you go. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. 9 years old, and he just And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I got to get some shoes. I got a game tonight. I'm like, oh, wow. And the store was like 20 minutes from the United Center, which is where the Bulls play at the time. So I felt like that's a cool bragging right. So not only was I near that store where they played, but also I was not by where the stack of cars is in Waynesville when they pass by rocking out the Queen. The opening scene in Wayne's World where they're rocking out in the car. They passed by a stack of cars. I lived by that.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Yeah. So I had
Wow,
Svengoolie, Scottie Pippen, and the stack of cars from Wayne's World.
Wow, pretty good. Courtney
Nice.
knew Charles Barkley and Dr. J. Wow.
Oh, we got some additional folks here. Lord Thoth, what's
Lord
up to
Thoth.
you?
Hey, Dot, what's up?
Avon lives, long live the Legion, buddy.
Look at you right there.
There's an Avon lives. There you go, man.
Better not be talking about comics about sports.
Yeah, don't talk about NFL
The
Super
only
Pro.
The only
I
sports
will.
comic book I read is pretty much the WWE's. Nothing else.
No
It's all
no one remembers NFL Super Pro.
Bro, I didn't read NFL
Marvel
Super
had a
Pro.
comic in the 80s about an NFL football player who was a superhero. called NFL
We're not
Super
worthy. We're not worthy.
Pro.
That was Aurora. Well, the movie took place in Aurora, Pat, but that particular scene was filmed in Berwyn.
Okay.
All right. Anyways, we have an extra guy on the panel. He's from this group called the Swing Pop Culture Archivists. His name is Jed. Hi, Jed.
Not a bloody frog.
Or dead if you go backwards. One of those
Oh
activists.
yes, I've got to hang out with Barkley a few times.
Oh,
So,
nice.
Yeah, and the Suns are playing again to go up against I think the Nuggets today for Game 3.
Mhm.
They beat this. That means they're only one more game until they can go into. I think it's
dude.
next.
I didn't
round
tell you. I
finals.
looked into the future. And
Oh,
found out they
shut
lost,
up.
man.
Oh,
I'm
shut up,
sorry.
Mike.
I'm trying to save you from the pain of finding out for yourself, and that's
Yeah.
the thanks I get. That
Yeah.
I'm just telling you now. Be prepared. I went into the future and exact, man.
Yeah.
I was trying. I wanted to come back with good news, but
Yeah. You know, my good thing was they beat La Bum. Okay, the Suns beat I love the Lakers, but they beat La Bum. Okay, so Super Pro was awesome. I have Super Pro comics, DB. So
I want
yeah.
that money.
Alright.
Doesn't it
I-
always
dude.
be a smile?
yeah, I love sports, dude. Still, like even though I don't like some of the people that are in it, like
Mhm.
you know La Bum. You know,
LeBron China?
you mean La Bum? Yeah. So
Like China James?
yeah, let China. Yeah,
I
was
love
so-
it that all the
dude,
way in Africa,
my nephew loves LeBron, and I was like, the Suns and Lakers are going up against each other, and I was like, you know who I'm going for, right? And I was like, I know who, but I love. I don't like LeBron on there because he's not a team player, you know.
All right.
Oh, no.
me,
he's
me,
a-
me, you know.
He's
We got
he's okay. We have a word for him. That
Okay.
Yeah.
pretty much translates to pain in the ass.
Yeah,
The other team members, man.
yeah. Now Magic, and you had Kobe, and you had all those other guys. They were team players. You even have Shaq. Shaq was on the Suns, and he was a badass, and he was on the Lakers, and he was on badass. Okay, so
Mhm.
yeah, Pat. Just trying to
that's
chat his
hilarious.
asshole.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
That's from Lethal Stream right there, my brother. Yeah, rip Kobe, because Kobe was awesome.
I haven't been a
Okay.
basketball fan since the New Orleans Jazz left to go to Utah in the early 80s.
That'll do that. I think
Pistol-
Gary from Nerdrotic had a similar story like that with San
Pistol
Diego
Pete.
Chargers.
Well, Pistol Pete left here. Oh well, yeah, no, yeah, he did, but that was fairly more recent when they have one of the worst owners in the NFL, the Chargers, Alan Spanos.
Mhm.
Oh, they
Yes.
do.
He was a huge fan, and he will not follow them. They're going to LA like they did, and I don't blame him one bit. That's horrible when you lose your team.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, Arizona didn't have a team until the Cardinals came out.
I almost lost my White
But they've
Sox
been there
in
a long
Florida.
time now.
Yeah, they've been Cardinals have been here since the early '90s now. So.
Well, they were the Chicago Cardinals, and they were the St. Louis Cardinals for decades, and the Phoenix
And-
Cardinals, and finally the Arizona Cardinals. But
Yeah,
it
so-
stays.
No, the Diamondbacks.
Dude, I was there. Okay, I was there.
Of course,
I got to be there at the
twice.
Diamondbacks on the first day I was happened to be downtown because I would go around when I was younger. I just happened to be downtown, and I knew a buddy down at Bank One Ballpark. That's what they called it back then. And I knew a few friends, and they're like, I was like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Well," because I didn't know this because I was just going out. I went to the comic book shop earlier, and then did a bunch of other stuff. And then I just happened to be downtown, just screwing around. And then they're like, "What's going on? Oh, today, what's all the big huss?" Because I didn't know. What's all the big fuss? We were like, the Diamondbacks are playing their first game. I was like, wait a second, I know somebody in there. I went over there to my buddies, the VIP window. I was like, hey, can I get a ticket in? He's like, sure, bro. Boom. First Diamondbacks game, and then I got into the World Series game when they were down here too.
Hey, basketball
When they won the
scenario.
first World Series, yeah. Cardinals, Diamondbacks haven't won since then though.
All right.
Lancaster, there's no sadder fan and more suffered fan than a Detroit Lions fan, and you have my sympathies.
Yeah.
You do have my sympathies as well. And to second that, do you want the Cleveland Browns in exchange?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a
They're a
the
little
Browns.
less tragic, though. At least they have tons of championships
Yeah.
in the 50s.
Wait,
but
there
the
really
Lions,
is a team called.
Yeah.
Wait. There really is a team called the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
yeah, they've been around. Been around.
They're,
since
okay, my
1940.
two teams. Well,
Classic.
my two teams are
That was a
the
joke.
Cardinals and the Cowboys. The Cowboys haven't done shit for years, but Cardinals have at least been doing some stuff.
Mhm.
You know, they've been to the
Oh.
Super Bowl twice already.
right.
So
We're gonna finally get on to our topic now that we've broken the ice and we somehow went to
yeah,
15 minutes of
being a
sports that I
Lions
do
fan
not
is being
regret.
worse than a Cowboys fan, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Way
the
worse.
first thing I want to talk about, and this is a very interesting topic that I feel like can always result in endless discussion, and it's the idea. And I'm gonna have everyone have their voice,
Courtney.
put out their piece. Cowgirls.
Cowgirls, indeed. She's an Eagles
they-
fan. She has
yeah.
to say that. But go ahead. Nick. Sorry, go ahead,
no,
Nick.
you're good. Everyone has a different opinion on this. I'm sure some might have a similar, but it's the idea of when there's comic book adaptations, how similar should the source material be to the movie? And I feel like what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with each. I'm gonna pitch each one to go, and then after that, we'll kind of have just a big old discourse after that. So I'm gonna start off with Fenrir. How vital and to what extent does the source material need to be dominant for an adaptation of a movie?
Well, I'm gonna be honest here with Okay. We've all seen Invincible here. Everyone in this point, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. We all seen that. Awesome.
And everyone here enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Pretty much 99% of that entire show is a shot-for-shot depiction of the comic book, with only a few extras to put in the missing spots, like when the panels are altering in between the pages and boards. Literally, with just that, it is a perfect depiction, and everyone loves it, specifically the old fans. I believe that movies and shows can take personal inspirations, but they cannot completely get away from what the original story says, from its main plot and the original character development. It has to maintain the same, but if they don't have the right characters, they can replace them with the ones from the moment that are identical and can be used the same way. I believe that it is important to have some level of accuracy to what it was in the comic.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask you some questions here on Fenrir on this. Obviously we've had plenty of conversations on race swap, gender swap. To what point do you tolerate it? Do you tolerate it or don't tolerate it with a race or a gender swap?
Nick,
what extent? Where's your tolerance level on this? Are you all or
Nick,
none, or are you 50-50? I want to know.
Nick, you've known me for about almost a year. We've had
Yes.
numerous conversations for God knows
Yes.
how long about the same subject over and over again.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure you know my answer.
Well,
I really don't stand this bullshit, specifically if it uses to pander and probably destroy the character completely from the inside.
Okay.
By
Do you have any
putting him into-
exceptions to that? Nope. I guess that means no.
I do not.
He does
I
not.
really do
Okay.
not. I think maybe Rex Splode, who is Latino American in the TV show, and in the comics he was white or something. But
Okay.
I think that's the only one. I really don't. Really don't like race and gender swaps. If they are being done, that means there's an ulterior motive that'll probably to destroy the character from within, to bring in some kind of messaging, and I just don't like that. I like my characters how they work, good and developed.
Okay, that's fair. I'm just trying to figure out. So okay, so see, I was gonna we lost Jed, but he'll be back. And this is something I'm glad Ironcaster mentioned because I was gonna ask Fenrir here, but he beat me to the punch here. I do feel like Michael Clark Duncan was an exception. Now, don't get me wrong. I do feel like D'Onofrio topped it with the Netflix Daredevil, but I did feel like Duncan was an exception to one of the rare race swaps that worked out for the best. One, because he's a fantastic actor, but he's a mob
great
boss.
Actor. He was a great character. Physically, he was resembling to Kingpin because they were both huge.
Yes,
and he actually, if you actually ask him, I've heard some rumors that he himself actually likes the character himself for some of the comics and the personality.
Rest his soul.
So he tried to do a respectful version.
No, he actually, it's like, from what I know, he actually, like, he didn't know much about the character before he signed up, but once he did learn about he knew what he signed up for. He did do his research to at least, embrace being Lord Thoth here. He does not agree. He was not a good Kingpin. CC's well. No, as I said earlier,
on that, by the way, I'm with him.
I think D'Onofrio's way better. I did enjoy Duncan in that movie. I feel like Duncan was not an issue with that movie. I will say, I won't go into my problems with that 2003 movie, but he was not one of them. I'll say that. So, okay. So now Fenrir, for my final question on this. When you look at like an animated movie like Flashpoint, where it's basically almost page for page, do you like having that level of predictability, or are you fine with slight changes?
Well, I actually enjoy the predictability, which is something rare for me because I honestly don't like predictable things. For example, in Loki, I saw that crap and I regret it. But my friend called me to his home and I saw it. It was very predictable. Plus, they kind of insulted every single person who's ever watched it by making the fucking stones into a paperweight. But I digress. I enjoyed when Flashpoint was a shot for shot with small changes because it was entertaining. I knew the story from heart, and it was good to watch it in animated.
Okay, so you're a comfort food type of guy, but with comics. Okay, no, I noticed your take, Fender, is very consistent. You're consistent
for the first time. I like risks with food. Food is something you must always take a risk with. Seriously, give me about an entire cake made out of pizza and with ingredients I don't even know, and I'll probably eat it. Give me 50 minutes and I'll eat it.
Sounds great. Hey, Courtney, thanks for dropping in. Take care. Have a good evening. All right. Maybe I'll have to drop by your page soon. All right. Now the next man up, Jed. Why don't you sound off on your thoughts and go ahead and elaborate as much as you want on how close to how far, what are your limits, what are your exceptions, preferences? Like, I want you to elaborate as much as you can.
Well, okay. I think the Iron Man, when they started the Iron Man movie, it was excellent. They were taking it in a good direction. They were trying to get everybody in there. Winter Soldier was good. Like I agree with Mike on a lot of the stuff when he did his list and stuff too. But the exceptions I do not like, in, as we say, the man of poo or whatever, the man of, the Snyder stuff.
Stool.
The man of stool, yeah. The Snyder stuff where they make him not look like he's Superman. Okay. Invincible was a very good adaptation of what the book was. Everybody I talked to loved it. There was not one person that I talked to that did not like it. Okay, so I love that. They did change a few things that was different from the comic, and they pulled some stuff from later on, and they pulled some stuff from, they sped up the timeline because, realistically in a TV show, things go faster in a TV show than they would in a book. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Maximum Carnage went 12 issues. You could do all that in like maybe 2.5 hours if you did that as a movie, maybe. But yeah, I don't like the direction that new Batman movie is going.
Well, I'm not really trying to talk about the Batman movie, but I'm talking
just
about
saying
like properties
adaptation.
in general.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
I want
I
to be.
apologize.
I
Let the man
wanted to
speak,
be.
Nick. Let the man speak.
I wanted to be realistic. I wanted to be faithful. Like the Eternals shits on Kirby, the king. We all know he's the king, you know. But I love
no,
Kirby and I
they
love
are
Lee. I
obviously going to
love
shit
both
on
of
him
them.
every single
Yeah, they're
Didn't
literally
even make the
taking
suit right.
Yeah, they didn't do anything on the Eternals properly, and then they're gonna do a Bollywood number in there, like sparkle more
Even the ship
humiliation.
was
Yeah, it's gonna be
fucking
terrible. It's just they didn't no adaptation. It's just a huge virtue signal. Okay, it's
Parrot
just
head.
yeah,
Go on.
sparkly Batman.
And
It's
Kirby
true,
at
dude.
least had an excuse why the Eternals intervene with human history, but they don't have anything.
you know, and there was a picture I saw on that was on Twitter the other day that made me tear up. I saw a picture of Kirby and Stan together, and they were smiling and hugging one another, dude. And it just, dude, because I've gotten
And if
to
I
meet
saw
both
that,
of
I'd
them.
probably set it on
Yeah,
fire.
I gotten to meet both of them, and I got to spend time with both of them, and it just made me, dude, they're both gone. It made me depressed. But what I want to do is, if I ever get to do, I want to do the comics the way Stan and Jack and all our other beloved creators that created everything, you know?
Yeah, they had
Do it.
love. They had
Yeah, give them the
knowledge.
love they
Most of those
deserve.
guys had
Like,
military
okay,
backgrounds. So
like,
they've actually
and
seen
Mike's gonna
shit.
agree with me. They are gonna destroy the Fantastic Four when they bring them into the MCU. They're not gonna do
that
them
is
right.
obvious.
They're not gonna give them the
jury's
service.
out.
They're not gonna give them the service and the love and the respect they need.
Look, they're not going to be a family because
yeah, it's just I will say this, and this can apply to this right now. You know how Kevin's doing the Superman, the
He-Man,
the He-Man. He's gonna do this false flag. Oh, the show's gonna. I will say this. That was awesome. The trailer looks awesome, but you gotta look underneath the subtext of the show to see. That looks like it's all stuff from the first part of the show.
That's just
and it doesn't show you anything from part 2. Which when I don't know if you saw this, Nick, but they have a toy of Skeletor with He-Man's H on his chest with the power sword. So He-Man's either gonna die or he's gonna be sent off.
Oh, you know he's gonna be placed second fiddle in his own show.
And that's the reason why I think he like if I was to do He-Man, dude, I would do it proper. I would bring Hordak in. I would bring, the Snake Man in. I would bring
a thing they always do. They never bring Hordak in. He was Skeletor's teacher. It would be cool.
But you gotta give it. You gotta give all these properties like Superman, Fantastic Four, the Eternals. You gotta give them all the respect. There are some things that I can give them a little bit of leeway because I did it on the Avengers. I was like, okay, the one thing that did piss me off, they didn't do Avengers Assemble when they did the thing, I was just like, we only got that at Endgame where they finally said it. I was like, you made us wait 10 years to say that, right? Like, you couldn't do it in the first movie. Like, come on.
No, they couldn't.
Okay, interesting.
You can have some leeways, but be how would you say? Just be there with,
Look, knowing what Kevin Smith's gonna do,
be truthful to the property, the IP, everything else.
Yes.
Be respectful to the people that were there before it that made it.
Yeah, I have a theory about the trailer, okay? And there's maybe something that there's this scene where Adam is wearing a cape. He's covered completely. Yeah, that may be way into the series. He loses one battle, he disappears, Tila is searching for him, and then he appears on that scene later on the show. That's something that I have thought because the scenes
I thought of that too.
Don't work really well together. It's like they are disjointed, the scenes that they use for the trailer, and well, only that.
I really do think that, and there was another thing, and a lot of people thought about this. Skeletor, Cringer and Battercat are never seen in the same scene no more.
All right, I gotta ask now. Okay, before I ask these questions, what's up, David Serta? Now, have you seen other movies involving Robert Pattinson that don't involve Twilight, like The Lighthouse, for example? Have you seen that?
Yeah, I have. I'm not a Robert Pattinson person.
Okay. My point
I
is,
did
he
get.
has
I did.
proven he can act.
Oh yeah,
Whether I
I've
like
seen
him
it.
or not.
I will agree. He can act in some
Pattinson.
things,
Mm-hmm.
but not for Batman. I'm just sorry. He doesn't give
No,
up the
okay.
Batman persona. Maybe
That is
Bruce Wayne, a
correct.
tiny bit Bruce Wayne, but not Batman.
Maybe Dick Grayson actually looks
Dick,
more like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I
dude,
can
he
see
would be
I can see a good
he
Dick
would be a
Grayson.
good Dick Grayson. He's
Yeah.
not Bruce or Bats. Like I gotta
I
say
can
it.
really see Patterson as a Dick
Yeah.
Grayson, but
Yeah,
not
he
as the
would be a
Bat. He's
good.
too small.
Yeah, you gotta have Bruce is
His
beefy,
refusal
man.
to
He
work
works
out is a bit weird. I will say that. I do think he's talented as an actor, but yeah, he does need a beef up. And even though he refuses, which is like, dude, come
Okay,
on,
look,
just suck it
to
up.
me, they should have done. Okay, what was the name of the one who did Batman in the Batman vs Superman movie? His name was Brad Pitt, right? What's his name again?
What?
What?
The guy who
Brad
did
Pitt?
Batman.
Brad
What?
Pitt
Ben Affleck?
wasn't in Batman versus
The guy
Superman,
who
brother.
fucking did
Ben,
the guy
Ben
who
Affleck?
did Batman. Yeah, Ben
Ben
Affleck.
Affleck.
They should have done him as Batman and Patterson as Nightwing and introduced him in the cinematic
No,
universe.
Pattinson can even be Red Hood, if you think about it.
I
Yeah.
didn't see him. Still, Jason is pretty tall.
I will
and a
say
bit more
Ben is
muscular than
pretty
Dick.
decent Bats. You know,
Besides
You
when
know.
he's the Punisher playing Batman,
he's better
yeah.
than Clooney
Yeah.
was. Clooney was a good Bruce Wayne, but he was a terrible Batman.
Oh, they're saying
Alright.
they're saying
It's a
Clooney's coming
great
back
Bruce
for
Wayne.
Flashpoint.
Yeah, he's a great Bruce Wayne, but he was a terrible Batman.
All right,
Yeah, they're
Jed.
saying they're gonna bring Clooney back for Flashpoint now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jed.
I don't know.
As far as like race swap, gender swap, I mean, tokenize, as young Rip would like to say, are there any exceptions to that rule where you're like, okay, mostly suck, but I like this one or two in particular? Do you have one that you're like, okay,
I will say this, and I this burns me, but then when I saw it, I do agree with Samuel Jackson being Fury in the movies. I have no problem with that. It's just I wish they would have found a way to do it and like explain why he was black, like or it like said it was an alternate universe or something because they're like, oh, this is the main MCU. Well, you know what I'm saying? Fury
No, I know what you're
Fury
saying.
was white, and it's just like when they did the black Johnny Storm, he was a terrible Johnny Storm, dude. Like in Fantastic Four stick,
Four stick, yeah.
yeah, like Val Kilmer. Yeah, I just can't. I can't. Clooney and Kilmer,
that's a
I
good
cannot.
question.
I can't be them as Batman.
okay.
But
Yeah.
Michael Keaton, I will say, this is what I've said. They should have done Michael Keaton with the Dark Knight Returns. Okay. He would be the perfect age for it right now. And then and then say it's an alternate universe, and then they bring Michael Keaton in and bring somebody in and do a Batman Beyond. Like then people would get, you would get two good buddy movies because, a lot of people still love, Keaton as Batman. That was one of the things I remember going to like the first week it came out, dude. I didn't go see it because I was busy and I was in the hospital.
Yeah.
But I didn't,
All right.
But yeah, there are certain things, Oh no, Pat, you can't. David Hasselhoff, he was okay. I remember that on TV.
I got a question.
I can't.
I got a question. We're gonna answer it. David Surdoff. I mean, and if you guys want to answer, that's fine too. I meant to type if Pattinson would be good as Terry in a Batman Beyond arc. I could see it. I mean, do I feel like they'd be rushing to get to Batman Beyond right now, considering that they've not done a lot of the family yet? Yeah. Now, before I have you wrap up, Jed, TC just tipped me some sweet money. Thank you for being excellent. Let's see what TC did here. TC tipped the $5. Hail, TC. Thank you for the $5, man. I appreciate you, and thanks for dropping in. And welcome as well. Thank you. And Keely Chow, I mean, not really a high standard, but I do obviously agree. And Lord Thoth here, How do you get the caramel inside the caramel bar? Dude, you're talking to a guy who's a freak of nature about caramel, man. No, let's not go there. But okay, so now I feel like Jed, I've summed up your thoughts. You're a guy who you are very minimal changes. I don't feel
But
like I got a name of exception. I don't feel like I got a name of. You said Nick Fury. Is that it? I mean, I'm trying to feel you like it mostly faithful. Now, are you a guy who
I
prefers
don't mind.
predictability?
I don't mind if there's some changes where you legit, like, okay, when it goes from comics to movie,
Mhm.
to live action, there are some things that you just can't do sometimes. It's not
Mhm.
feasible. I
Mhm.
understand that. So if there's little changes, but you got to stay true to the source material. You can't just
Fat
go, oh, that
Steven,
on DB's like lawn dart injury.
my sexy meat Twinkie.
You watched he watched the thing yesterday, didn't you? On Lorena's, didn't you? When I was talking about lawn darts. Yeah.
Go. All right. So okay.
Hey, Steven.
So
But yeah, but I would like to have it be true to the character and the creator's vision, not just go off and just, hey, let's make everything dark and everything else, and like, no,
Mhm.
it's depressing.
It is.
Okay, I will say this. The cornerstone of the DC universe is the
Mhm.
Trinity. It's Wonder Woman, Batman, and Clark, Supes,
Yeah.
Diana, Clark, and Bruce.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. That's.
And
I'm gonna
Batman
have
is
you
the
wrap your point. So
okay,
I feel like I get where you're coming from.
yeah, Batman is like he's the sort of the Diane is the soldier, Batman is more the underground
Detective.
crime and
The
everything
detective.
else.
Superman's a
Yes,
symbol.
He's the detective.
detective, and then Superman is the hope and the light and everything.
Yes. All right.
So
Yeah. All right. Now, my buddy, Mr. Pablo, I see you over there on my left. Geek
Yep.
Topology.
On your left.
He's
I
probably
want
high.
you to, Eli, he probably is, and that should bring out his best thoughts. And before I do that, here, Pat S. here with
everyone.
Carl Urban
I'm
for
high.
Sergeant Rock and C3PO for GI Robot.
Hey, don't be dishing on GI Robot now.
I know, right?
All right, Pablo, go ahead. I want you to be as elaborative as possible on your how close to the material, where you're at on swaps, and the exceptions to the rule, predictability over unpredictable. I want you to go all the way with this, man.
Okay, I'm in a kind of weird place. First of
Okay.
all, I like when people take some liberties with some things, like Wolverine. You have huge Jackman that he was too huge to be Wolverine,
By height,
and he was
yes.
not enough Jackman to be Wolverine until, well, maybe Logan. In Logan, he was enough Jack to be Wolverine. But he was great. His acting was amazing
Yeah.
on those movies. So I liked it. The costumes were not the ones that I was used to in the comics, but I love those movies. I love the costumes. I love even Storm saying the stupid line. What does happen to a toad when he's hit by lightning? The same as everyone. It's
Same
stupid.
day
It's just,
hits a toad. That was the line, yeah.
man, it's crazy how you can do something that amazing to watch, to enjoy,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not perfect, it's not as the comics, but you can be off that and for a second forget that there's this other instance of these characters and enjoy the ones you have on screen. Same goes for Nick Fury. I don't care about the change on Nick Fury. I'm good with that if they get the best actor possible. But then you have in modernity, when they change any character,
Mm-hmm.
they are not trying to make something good. They are
Mm-hmm.
trying to get points for the casting. So I hate that point when people try to use, and for instance, I'm a Latino, when people try to use Latinos to sell you, buy this movie. Is
Mm-hmm.
the movie good? Because I'm tired of them using Latinos for bad movies.
I
I'm
agree.
tired of
It's a
them uh,
problem.
wasting potential and also giving us bad names, because when people think about movies with Latinos, they used to think about El Mariachi. They used to think about Once Upon a Time on Mexico. They used to think about this incredible action, and you had the Puss in Boots in Shrek. That's the kind of representation that was amazing to see on screen.
Yeah.
Now you have a bunch of idiots running around doing nothing on screen, and you wonder why they are wasting potential. It's because
El cucaracha playing on
exactly.
the background.
So
Don't
they
forget
are
that part.
wasting. They are wasting an incredible amount of quality.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's this other point. If they are going to waste quality, at least make them look like the original.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason why I like the Fantastic Four movies, not the Force Fantastic
Four
or
stick,
however
fan
that's,
four
yeah,
stick.
the
Yeah.
couple of Fantastic Four movies is because they look kind of like the comics. They sometimes act like the comics, and I can just enjoy these small moments of brilliance in a sea of shit. But there's that. Uh, but then I watched Loki the other day, and it was shit, just pure shit. And
Mm-hmm.
the Infinity Stones are not a problem. The Infinity Stones are bound to a particular universe. If you take
Mm-hmm.
them out, and this time travel agency, or however it's called, is
Mm-hmm.
out of the bounds of reality, so the Infinity Stones will mean shit in that place. And yes, they can
Yeah, they
get.
lose their point.
Exactly, it's completely useless. And magic, if Loki is using chaos magic, he will draw from the multiverse, and if this is an isolated place, he will be completely useless, as will be
Mm-hmm.
Scarlet Witch or Doctor Strange or any other magical entity. I bet Mephisto here will be an completely pushover.
Like a Galactus as a cloud for the Fox Four
Mhm.
Stick universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was awful.
Yeah.
So
I think they're gonna
All
make
right.
like
You
some
got any more you
either
want to
either
say before I start
either a
asking
guy
some
in a suit
questions?
or
oh, go
bunch of
ahead.
cloud.
Okay. Before I do, we got some wonderful human being here. Sporking News Podcast, the sporker he is. What's up, buddy? Thanks for dropping in. And I want to say, VW, that line, people legit cheer. Are you talking about that storyline where she's like, you know what happens when a toe gets struck by lightning? That line? Halley's Enterprise, you could say, dude, that line was awful.
Yeah.
I laughed and
I was.
cringed at
People were
that
cheering
line.
when I went to go see it. People were cheering. I was like, "Yeah!"
And okay, this movie is really special. The X-Men
Whoa.
movie
Hold
is
up.
one of
Hold
the few movies that I.
Hold up, Paul. I
Oh,
apologize, but Fat Steven Seagal just he tips me $1 for the Slim Jim.
Oh, good. Steven.
Well, thank you for the $1. That sounds like he's refunding me for that Slim Jim that was
Oh,
morbidly
no way.
sacrificed here.
Cool.
And Pettis, I'm not going to disagree. I actually like it too.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
yeah,
do too.
it's
I
yeah, I
love it.
like it.
I love it.
it feels like not just heroes being heroes, but it was a comic book storyline. And yeah, obviously you lose that first time charm, nostalgia, but I do
Yeah.
feel like there was some tighter dialogue in that movie. I feel like the CG was even better,
Oh,
dare I say.
some
So
of
that's
the lines, man, some of the
there's some
lines on
great
that movie are
lines.
like Tony Stark going, "I'm not the boss. I'm only the guy that pays for everything." And you, go, yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
Well, see, Basco. I mean,
Love it.
here's the thing. Yes, but that's the thing. You have to forget that that's the thing, Basco. I mean, my guess is I don't know your stance, are Basco. I'm gonna assume when you're saying that you were coming from the stage of being more normie based. When you're saying that to a comic fan, it's a bit different.
Oh,
Like
yeah. You
you
don't say
can,
that to
if
comic fans.
yeah, if you're gonna
Yeah.
look at like a Lord of the Rings fan and tell them, hey, well, I want this thing different, they're gonna be like,
Yeah.
no, this goes against the lore. I mean, it's about respecting the lore. I don't mind minor tweaks and changes, like, and I'm gonna ask Pablo this question to get back onto the topic. Like, okay, here's a small change that people didn't seem to mind, but I do know some who did take exception to it. And Pablo, for the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, this was a small change, but there are some people who are still not a fan of it. What did you think when Peter Parker went from organic web shooters to the webbing coming out from his arms? Did you like that change, or did you not like that?
Yeah.
I will be honest. I love the web shooters. My background was with the series, especially with the 60s series, that he used to have a lot of trouble. And even in the 90s, he used to go running out of webbing a lot. But
Well, that was
I
part
saw-
of the story, though. It helped
Yeah.
do the story, you know.
But I
stories.
saw the movie and was part of the superpowers. And I first was kind of annoyed at the beginning of the movie. But to the end of the movie, I was like, yeah, I love this.
I mean,
It's
didn't they actually turn that in the comics true? Didn't they actually give
Yeah,
him
at one point
they
At
did,
one point during the
they consult-
Straczynski era, which they retconned again.
He
Again and
was
again.
with a Queen Spider or some shit like that. It was a weird time for a Spider-Man. Man.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. No, hey, Pablo, you did exactly what I asked. You elaborated. You went all the way with your thoughts. I'm gonna look at these tips real quick. Now I have my final question for you.
Okay.
Ironcaster and Muscle Busey both gave me some money. You guys are crazy.
So
Oh my god!
I know who the
Ironcaster-
Muscle Busey is.
All right, guys. If Fat Steven tipped $1 for the Slim Jim, Ironcaster tipped $1 for the Twinkie.
Yeah.
And then Muscle Busey tipped $2 for your cream filling. Oh my god, you guys are killing me with these comments. Pablo, it sounded like you had something to say before I asked the final question.
Yeah, I just want to ask this. Does anyone is up to date with the Superman and Lois series?
Yes, I
Yes,
am. I
am.
watch it
I am
every
up to
week.
date.
Yeah.
I watched
keep-
it.
keep forgetting
The
to
end
watch
of the end of the 9th episode was freaking insane. But I really don't think that
Yeah.
guy's his brother. I don't think he's his brother.
No, he
it's a
saw.
misdirect.
He
It's
saw.
a
Might just be.
misdirect. Yeah.
Might just be the
Okay.
fact they're in the same species, so they see each other's blood.
If you saw the first episode, you knew he was. Something told me when that guy was doing the shit with Kryptonite. Okay, but this is the point that I wanted to get into. When I thought that the guy that is supposed to be Lex Luthor was Lex Luthor, I was like, yeah, I can feel this. And I have seen different versions of Luthor with different
Yeah.
physical changes, so
Yeah.
I'm okay with this.
I'm just gonna say
Um,
this show is amazing on misdirecting. I mean, I didn't see
Yeah.
that
Yeah, they
coming
are.
as John Henry.
And
Didn't
then
see
they.
Oh, actually, I
Exactly.
knew they
All right, guys,
they tipped
let's
their
let
hand
Pablo
on that.
go. Pablo, keep
Yeah.
going.
Sorry.
So it ends up that he is still okay, and that change, I didn't even care when I thought that he was Luthor, and doing that reveal I thought was amazing. That was a great way to handle any kind of criticism, if they had any, to say, do you see? There's a lot of people rooting for this version of Luthor, and he is not even Luthor. That's a point that they needed to do, and I think this was not intentional. It was an accident, and they fall into this bleep, this anomaly that is Superman and Lois. But in that, they showed us, and they showed themselves, that people don't care about these kind of racial changes if they are good, if they are managed well, if people are interested in what you are showing. When people lose interest, everything falls apart.
Okay, no, okay. And Vigilante Williamson just tipped me some sweet money. And VW comes in hot with 420. 420 for the wait. Never mind. VW, thank you. You guys are coming in hot with these tips. Thank you guys. And we got a very active chat. You guys are killing this chat. Thank you guys. You guys are wild. I love it. On fire here. Okay. So the last question before I move on to clobbering. what are the exceptions as far as race swap, gender swap, tokenism? What is your exception? I feel like we all maybe might have one that might be more better than others. Do you have that, or is it non-existent?
Okay, if I had to say a strong exception, huh, that's a damn good question because the only one that I can see not working if they fully go with a black Superman is a black Superman. Why? If they do it, they will have to keep the Kents. The Kents are the heart of that story of the way Superman becomes Superman. If not,
Mm-hmm.
if you have seen Invincible or if you have seen Dragon Ball, you know that what happens when you have a superpower entity that
Mm-hmm.
goes to a planet and obliterates it for any kind of gain, be it to just conquer it or just to destroy it because they are comic book bad guys. Is whatever it is, you have this super being that destroys the planet only because he can or because he was sent to. But Superman is different. Superman has the power to level a planet to dust, and instead he's protecting these beings that can be killed like ants in
Mm-hmm.
his view. But instead of that, he's protecting the nest, he's protecting the planet, he's protecting the individuals, he's saving them and caring for them, and that's the Kents.
Mm-hmm.
That is what they transfer to him. That see the love we are giving to you, this is what humanity means, and you can give it back. So he does. That is something that they need to maintain. They can change the color of Superman, but they cannot change the Kents because the Kents are the heart of Superman, of how he transforms into that godly being that is at the same time so humble to accept to live with us, and not even that, to be part of us, and even try to be a lesser of us when he's Clark Kent.
Mm-hmm.
Is that is something you cannot take away from Superman. You can take away his skin color, but you cannot take away the Kents. And the Kents, I will say, even for the historical context, you will not be able to change their color.
Mm-hmm. I would agree to that, Pablo. I truly genuinely mean not just nod my head and agree, but I
That
do
is true.
wholeheartedly agree. I mean,
That is
it
very
is how
true.
he once again it also has that the fact that that has been how he Clark has been historically depicted. It's what we have grown up with. So in that aspect, I do feel like that is essential to his character. So there is that, and I just once again I'm definitely a man of comic faithfulness. I feel like if you want to go for a awesome no, if you want to go for a black character, you got Vixen, you got Steel. If you really want to use Steel, obviously we know
Yeah.
John Stewart. There's
Mhm.
Cyborg. They are out there. You and of course Marvel has Brother Voodoo. They have Bishop. They have
Yeah.
Storm. Like I mean, could we use more original ones? Yeah, maybe some more, but to act like they're not there is non-existent. You just gotta have a writer say,
Here's
"Hey, let me make a
But there's been
story
kind of
that's gonna
like
make
a
this character not
this
like
is
a
the one.
second fiddle." Well, I know that, but what's up, Islington girl? And
hey,
VW here
yeah.
coming in hot with the tip. Wait, never mind. That's how you go to the family court. Uh, Oh,
Yeah.
Basco, I'm very well aware. I'm very well aware of many non-white farmers. That is a very true statement. There's no denying that there. But once again, we're obviously some of us here are a bit more con faithful than others, but that's why we're discussing this. We're seeing where we come from, what we agree on, what we don't agree on. But I do appreciate you keeping it honest. So thanks
Yeah.
for that. Pop
Hey,
Culture Republic, hail!
hey, Nick.
What's up?
One thing I do gotta say on, and I know this is the reason why they did this.
Oh, Makani. What's
When
up,
when
Makani? Go ahead.
when they did the Crisis on Infinite Earths on a CW, that kind of gave them a little bit of leeway to like kind of change things up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
Mm-hmm.
reason why there's been all these misdirects, because when
Mm-hmm.
that happened, it changed all the history and brought new people in so they could actually bring some of the other characters in from the comics because they hadn't done that yet. And they said the reason why they did that was so they could do that. We didn't have John Henry before this. Actually, Crisis actually was allowed him to bring him in, so that's cool. You know,
Macklin made it. Macklin, what's up? And I want to highlight this comment here. Basco said here, I have said this before, get the creative minds going and come up with new... Man, you're making so much sense. You're making too much sense.
Yeah.
Thank you, Basco. That's all we're asking. If you put the right creative mind, there's someone out there who probably has a killer non-white character. It's like, I got something cool here, and I need to present to someone. Obviously, we got people doing books for like Indiegogo, a la Comics Game and whatnot, but it shows you there is creativity. Whether you're into it or not is a whole other thing, but it shows you there are people out there who have ideas that are original and they want it to be heard. They want it to be heard.
I mean, speaking of ideas, Nick, I'm still waiting.
Yeah, right. They're out there. It's a matter of will they let those people be chosen? So that's a different statement.
Fenrir, you sound really far.
You sound like you're
muffled
again.
Okay, I'm kind of working on the garage here for a second, but as I was saying, Nick, I'm waiting. You know what I'm talking about.
I'm waiting too. I'm waiting on that too.
Cyberfrog's a good example of that, you know.
Thank you for subscribing. Macklin made it. Appreciate you. And yes, and that's another thing, TC. I'm glad you brought it up. Now here's the thing, and just some guy brought this up, like on one of his videos, that there are all these characters that they can use, and these are literally the ones that he listed. And that Static Shock cartoon was a great example of how you can take a black character and make it freaking awesome.
But they did use Static Shock and they screwed him up.
Yeah, now they made him have a BLM origin.
Yeah,
and
it's terrible. Yeah, it's terrible. He was a cool character when he came out, but now they made him a
he's a psychopath. Look, this new Static, he's a fucking psychopath. He was going to kill Francis. He only stopped because he didn't want people to think he was a punk. He didn't care if it was right or wrong. He's a psychopath.
So he's Electro now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, you guys are killing me with these comments. Oh, man. Okay, last but certainly not least at all.
Well, Keely, I think Matt would say something about that.
We'll talk about that tonight on the lounge. But anyways, I got a man here. I'm sure he's ready to sound off on his thoughts, and I think he knows what questions I got, so I'm going to let him go all the way with it. So, Clobbering Times, the floor is exclusively yours.
Well, thanks, man. Hello, everyone out there. I've been accused of being a bit of a purist, but it's not exactly accurate. You need to capture the spirit of the character, and because some of these characters, especially ones that have been around for 60, 70, 80 years, there's not necessarily always one specific story that you need to adapt when you translate them to film, but you need to get the spirit right. And the biggest thing is the casting. A Christopher Reeve,
so good.
Some of the other candidates, Robert Downey Jr. or Chris Evans, which was who was well cast twice as characters. Yeah,
agreed.
I was actually very skeptical when he was cast as Cap because I thought he was so good as Johnny Storm in two inferior films, but he surprised me. Hey, Latinos, what's up, buddy?
All right, keep going, Clobby.
We'll get the casting right first, but I do want them to be as close to the source material as possible. And that will vary from character to character, or team to team, as the case may be. Like the Fantastic Four actually needs to be a period piece at this point. It won't be, of course.
No.
But if you get and again, you have to remember, comic book characters are very visual characters. They did not start in a literary medium in prose fiction. They started out as the co-creations of either a writer or an artist, or sometimes an artist who did both. But they are very visual. And when you translate them to film, and you're not at least anywhere from the 80 to 90% range accurate to their look, their feel, and an actor that looks like they personify that character from the comic books, I get close to tapping out at that point. I've got to have, because it is a visual medium that they were spawned from. So I want to see that, and then I want the tone to be. I want the characterization to be spot on. When you deviate from that, when you commit characterization grape, I'll say the word grape that rhymes. You lose me as well. So I have, even if a film story isn't quite all up to par, the characterization or the casting is really good of the character, it'll go a long way with me. That said, sometimes if you're one of these adaptations many years after the fact, in terms of years and years and years after they originally debuted, sometimes you have to make a few changes. Take Iron Man, for example, in 2008. It wasn't going to be Vietnam like it was in the original comic, but you found something close, right? As much as I have serious qualms with those Fox Fantastic Four films, if you're going to set it in modern day, it can't be about them stealing a spaceship to beat the Russians into space like it was in 1961. So you make a few alterations. Of course, it was dumb that it was Doctor Doom financing it and on the space station with them. But there's sometimes you do have to make alterations to the origin to fit the times if you are setting it into modern times. But you still need to get the characters correctly. You still need to follow a certain pattern. You guys were talking about the Spider-Man films earlier. I cannot stand the organic web shooters. But if in 1962, when Spider-Man was created by Steve Ditko, and if he had organic web shooters then I would have been fine with it. But a key part of a component to the character has always been that Peter Parker's a genius, and he created those web shooters. And before it runs out sometimes, it adds some vulnerability to the character. Being able to shoot them out of your hands, and why didn't they come out of something else? Seriously debilitates the character. That was laziness on the part of Sam Raimi. Actually, a lot of that kind of started with James Cameron when the thing was in his hands for a while. He was more interested in Spider-Man 2099 than he was Spider-Man when it looked like he was going to make that film for a while. So, but yes, your casting is key, and then you have to make me feel it. The Chris Evans Cap and his films make me feel like I'm watching Captain America.
Yes.
Christopher Reeve makes me feel like I'm watching Superman pop off of the screen. And many of the other castings in the MCU. I just ranked the MCU movies, the 23 of the actual MCU Marvel Studio ones, and they're to varying degrees. I love a lot of them, and I love a lot of things in them, and dislike a lot of things in them. But for the most part, the better ones make you feel like you're watching a comic book come alive onto the screen, and that's important for me.
Yeah, it's a beautiful feeling. It's like this is what I grew up knowing, and seeing it actually feels like it makes it that much more believable because you read it in page format and now you're seeing it come to life. It feels that much more believable when you see that translation. I agree with you, Klobby, on that, and I'm glad you really went all the way with that statement. Thank you. Of course, I want to know, were there any slight, I know you mentioned some setting tweaks. Now, were there any slight character alterations, whether it was, obviously web shooters is not one of them, were there any type of alterations where you're like, I can look past this, or this was maybe a good change, or is there anything for any character, Marvel or DC, or any comic book in general, like, okay, this is exceptional change, characteristic change, whether it's a slight tweak, obviously nothing major, because you and I, we already know we universally agree on that, but any slight tweak, is there anything you're at with that you're this is okay?
Well, the slight tweaks are going to have to happen because you have far less time to tell a story about one of these characters. You don't have 12 issues a year. You have 2-hour film, or in some cases, TV series with episodes, a limited amount of episodes. So it's going to be truncated no matter what you do. Take the Daredevil series on Netflix. They borrowed from all over the place, mostly Frank Miller and a few other things. And they piecemealed things together. But the first 2 seasons were pretty damn good, I thought. Again, they had a really good casting in Charlie Cox. Without that, nothing else happens. If you don't get the casting right of any of these characters, nothing else happens. What's that? What happened?
Yeah.
What's up, Brightest Day? So VW
Day.
here.
Yeah.
I'm serious about the no MF for Cocktail Lounge and Matt having PC issues. Well, I'm very sorry to hear, Matt.
Hey, bro.
VW, if you and Matt want to come on here, dude, let me know. I'd be glad to shoot you the link. I'd be glad to have you come on and talk about these things. So just shoot me a message, VW. You could come on if Matt gets a situation situated. come on here as well. We'll talk. We'll stick around a little longer to accommodate. Send people that would be on the cocktail lounge.
Hey Nick, we could have a mini MFer over here. Yeah,
we're already there. We're already there.
Right? Yeah.
But I can
Matt,
have
come
one
over
or two
here.
people. I can have one or two people. But go on. What's okay? So Clobbering. Now, is there any race, gender, whatever swap? So you're like, okay, this is okay, or I could look past this one. Like, which one of those ones was exceptional to you?
Well, when you do it, in my opinion, it's pretty much usually always hand-me-downism. So I think it's kind of insulting to the race that you're swapping to.
Yep.
And I've always seen it that way. However, if I have if I have my druthers, I don't think I'd ever do it. Nevertheless, you can't not success. If a performance is still really good, then I'll give it its due. For example, Samuel L. Jackson. I don't like Ultimates. The Ultimates comics that line that Marvel did, just not my bag. But they did in that comic series base his look on Samuel L. Jackson.
I'm sure it was no one's bag.
He came in and said, he kind of said something to him about it, but he said, if you let me play him in a movie. Now, to me, the Nick Fury is the one from Kirby's creation. He's a tough Jewish kid.
Yeah, let me tell you, that Nick Fury was the most badass, the one from the 90s. He was the most badass of them all.
Not 90s.
He looked like a hardened general.
Not 90s.
Yeah, 60s. Yeah, 60s. Right. Sorry. I'm still remembering that movie he had. Movie he had.
Well, look, that movie's not that TV movie with David Hasselhoff's not what I'm talking about. He's more of a. There was actually a Nick Fury miniseries in the 80s that painted covers where the guy who painted him looked just like Kurt Russell because he sort of based him on a Snake Plissken type look at him going, wow, Kurt Russell would be a great Nick Fury. And he would. So that's my Nick Fury. However, good is good. And, I'm a big fan of Samuel L. Jackson. So he wanted to play the character. I get the kind of thing. And then, of course, it trickled over into Earth's Mightiest Heroes. And as much as I love that cartoon, I really wish it hadn't. Nevertheless, I'd rather see the classic Nick Fury. Nevertheless, he's fine. It doesn't really destroy the character because let's just be honest. Nick Fury had his own series sporadically, but he is I don't want to say a bit player in the Marvel Universe, but he's a bit player in the Marvel Universe. He is.
Yeah, he is. I mean,
he's
been treated like shit recently.
He's not Spider-Man. He's not the Hulk. He's not any of the event. He's not Cap or Thor or Iron Man, something like that. He is there as sort of a bit player. Not I mean that as an insult. I love the character. So in this instance, it doesn't bother me as Samuel L. Jackson. Of course, he's great. He's great in the role. He works, and he's again even kind of a bit player in those films. So it's not too bad. It's far different when you do it to a character like Johnny Storm. It was, of course, Fan Four Stick's bad anyway. So even if the movie had anything good about it, I would have had a problem with that swap. But let's be honest, that swap's the least of the problems with that horrible film. But on balance, I think I don't like it either, and only for reasons of I think it's hand-me-downism, and these are visual characters. People who are longtime fans want to see what they read in a comic book as a kid and later, and they want the characters translated from the page as close as they can. It's not evil. It's not that they're bigoted. They just want to see what they read as a kid on that comic book page, in that translated to film. So that's where I stand on that. And again, I love it when you stay as close to the source and the spirit as you possibly can. Understand, films are cliff notes in some ways. In terms of a character with an 80-year history, you're not going to squeeze it into even a few films. But you can get the essence. It's been proven, not often, but it's been proven a few times.
All right. We got a few comments here, and I want to welcome these human beings here. And Paulie here had a great comment here. Spirit of the character so vital, casting paramount, story priority. You care and value those 3 points. You can be creative with other elements. I know him and I had quite a discussion yesterday about that on Midnight's Edge. That was a very great chat, Paulie, and I thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on there, Paulie. Thank you for that. Hopefully we'll do more of those wonderful chats about casting and whatnot. And yeah, sir, I mean we know the obvious is obvious. That's like saying snow is white. So, and then the Nerdporeal life form. right
Hell
in.
Nerd Portal.
Hey,
Oh,
Draco Argentus, long time no see.
Hey,
What's up,
Vigilante.
hey,
buddy?
Draco.
And then, oh my God, another one. Oh, right here, just another red shirt. Yes, guys. Hey, if Matt's having issues getting the lounge going, whether it happens or happens, just bring everyone here, and we'll all have a nice chat. And we got a man on the panel who I let him do the introducing. So you, sir, you cue the music.
I don't have the music going, but Vigilante is here on the second episode.
What's
of
up?
Comic Talk. And I mean, it's only been a second episode. I was on an early episode, and that's it. It's been a long overdue return. Unfortunately, for some kind of sucky circumstances, because Matt is having a computer issue. I made a joke about Bree Nudes. I cannot confirm nor deny that.
Yeah, Bree got him again, man. Like, you know.
Oh, what's
DW.
up, Godzillionaire? Okay, well, cool. Oh no, I'm glad because Clobbering Times here gave an amazing take, and I just every
Yeah, he
word
did.
had me like was just like, wow, this guy. It felt like he was reading a book that he wrote, and I just wanted to listen to him. Like it was like narrating off an audiobook. I'm just Clobbering that was
now, dude.
beautifully spoken.
it was beautiful.
Too
Seriously, it was but it was so good. So I really loved it, and I appreciate your input, and you did exactly what I was hoping. I'm like, give us a good, thorough answer, and then you delivered in spades. So, all right. Well, since we got an extra gentleman here on the panel, I'm going to let him take his opportunity. I'm assuming he's been here long enough. He knows what's being asked to you, VW. Why don't you go all the way with your thoughts on this and tell us where you go on it? So, shoot it.
So I actually said this in the chat, and I actually said this just today. I kind of came to it because they're doing a Velma reboot sequel.
Ask for that.
It doesn't have Scooby Doo or the Mystery Machine and Velma's race swap. And I don't know if you saw the picture of the Resident Evil thing where they race swap.
There's
no other
bunch of
characters.
chicks, one black guy.
Exactly, and it's like the hub again. But my
Let me just
thoughts
ask.
are.
Oh, let VW go.
My thoughts are
VW
this.
go.
What is so wrong with just creating a new property? The whole point, right, of using an existing property is to use the existing fan base. But it's established. You don't care about that existing fan base, right? You really don't. You will do nothing to satisfy them. Outside of MCU, which tried at times. But for the most part, they do nothing to satisfy. You talked about the X-Men, even though that was hype in the theater. Change the
oh yeah, you got it's all from that all the dirty Bree stuff that's on there, man.
But carry on, bitch.
They changed the costumes or whatever. So if you don't care about these properties and you still want to include the built-in audience, do a parody or spin-off to style franchise. The Boys is the Justice League, right? That's who the seven are the Justice League. The seven are the Justice League or the Avengers, but they're evil and they're different and they're their own thing, but they're based off of property. Star Wars is based off pulp serials from a generation before it came out, from the 30s, 40s. It's based off of that. It's just based off another property. They made their changes, create their art. I was George Lucas, and it's a new thing. The Orville is Star Trek. The Venture Brothers are Johnny Quest. So what these all are kind of parody or spin-off franchises where and they're their own franchises. So what is the need to go into a property and change so much that you might as well have a new property?
Exactly. There's no rule against creating parody shows of other things and make it expand into something new. I mean, that's what I do.
Yeah, homages is a keyword. And VW, I'm glad you brought that up.
If this Velma show is about Velma alone without Scooby-Doo and the Mystery Machine and everyone else in the gang, then what's the point of watching? I mean, pretty much it's just watching. It's like watching a Batman show without Batman in it.
That keeps happening. You mean Gotham?
Think about this. For example,
Hey,
you have. Hey, Brian, how do you do, man?
I'm good. I thought you guys were having too much fun, so I thought I'd come in and spoil it.
Hey, buddy.
You didn't have to kill Fenrir though. That was
Well,
mean.
I didn't mean to kill that.
I'm sure he said hello to me though, so it can't be me.
All right.
Resurrection.
Carry on, guys.
Before
Carry
we
on.
carry on with everyone else's stuff, I wanna have VW continue his take. I'm trying
Yes.
to bounce off what he's going on. So okay, so we're talking about Velma here. I'll bet you, what's her name? Mindy Cows or Mandy Cows, whatever.
Who I
Okay,
actually do like.
Okay, she only
Okay.
did one show.
Hold
She
on.
only did one show ever, and it was awful.
okay.
That's kinda
No,
true.
and that's probably true. Well, that is neither here nor there to what I'm going to ask. What I'm looking at is, I have a prediction. You guys can all quote me on this now, and I said this yesterday on ME. I'll bet you this will be Mindy Kaling self-insert. Just happens to be Velma by name. That's what it's going to be. This is us saying, well, we're not confident in your name, but if we give you a character who has a franchise name attached to it, we'll slap the name on, and there's our big buck right there, guaranteed. At least for the first episode or two. So, anyways, now that
She's
all
supposed
said,
to, well, no, you're right. She's supposed to be a writer, and she's going to be Velma. So that's the
self-insert. Oh God, the writing's on the wall. It's a self-insert.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a self-insert.
Nick,
Yeah.
and
She only does. Look, she did a show called The Mindy Project. She only does self-inserts. She doesn't know how to create originality.
All right,
Nick,
so,
I want to
what's up,
take.
Pablo? Go ahead.
Yeah,
ask me.
I want to take a point that actually Polly made in the chat. That is
Okay.
about Spirit, and if you see what they are doing with the Powerpuff Girls, what they are doing with Velma, what they are doing with every single character when they do this race swap, they take away the spirit of the character. They take away almost everything from the character, and they only have this shell, this empty shell with the same name, hanging around on the film or on the series, being whatever they want it to be, and not even with a fixed personality, but is this just whatever they want this episode? They rob away the spirit, the soul of the character. So it doesn't matter what color it is no longer the character. They are not even trying to change the color. They are just taking the name and throwing to the garbage everything else.
All right. No, I agree. I do agree. I do agree with that statement. VW. Is there anything where it's had, like, I don't know, is there a exception to the race swap, gender swap, whatever swap, etc.? Like, okay, this one is bearable compared to others?
I mean, it was already mentioned.
Or
Nick Fury.
tokenization. Yeah, obviously Nick Fury. So would that be the one that you would stick with then?
Yeah, I would say that's the only one. I mean, if you remember, one early one was Harvey Dent in the '89 Batman. I love Billy D. Williams, but I mean that didn't really work to me. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
he was okay. He could have just been a different DA, but him being Harvey Dent never really materialized, and that's one of the tamer ones. So I mean, 9 times out of 10, it didn't make sense when Idris Elba was in Thor. It just I've talked about how Ghost in the Shell didn't make sense, and that was a race swap for a different reason, just to get a money actress on the film. But it should have been an all Japanese cast. That's the only thing that made sense.
I agree. It should have been all Japanese.
It really destroys the story of what the story's kind of about. So it's just like I really think for the most part it doesn't work. And Clobbering Times hit the nail on the head. It is a hand-me-down. It is, to me, I consider it disrespectful. Other people do too. Even I think Ripper did a story, Hell Ripper, but it was somebody from Marvel who wrote for Marvel, a black person who wrote for Marvel, who I believe is actually tends to be on the woker side.
She's the one who wrote Shuri's miniseries, and she actually said it word for word. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I thought when I saw that post, I'm like, Rippa's been saying this for like a year or two, and now someone at Marvel's finally saying it.
Yeah. Well, because I can imagine, say what you will about her creativity, because I haven't read it, and it's probably been super woke, but I'm sure in her head she's trying to come up with original black characters. And when you have this, it's like, oh, so it doesn't matter if I come up with Shuri sucked, and it's still a spinoff of Iron Man, whatever. But it's like, if that's you feel like, oh, so my work doesn't matter, because the only way I'm going to get on is if I make a established white character black. That's all you want to see, and that's why people don't really want. And I don't want to see the token. I don't want to see Batwing. Miles Morales kind of worked too. If there's another one to toss out, and I've always had the theory that being so close, it was only 4 years away from that terrible Brand New Day, One More Day thing. I think
that was terrible.
At least he's not a race swap, though.
Huh?
He's not a race swap, though. Yeah.
He's not a race swap. He's not. He's his own character. But I think people, even if he was just quote unquote Black Peter Parker, after Peter Parker got destroyed, people were happy to have any version of Peter Parker. So I think that kind of helped him get that pass through.
All right.
Love now.
Yeah.
That's why you have to play first person shooter. It's hard to woke that up. Yeah.
I don't think we're getting a woke.
They will.
You guys are killing it with the comments in the chat. Thank you guys. Seriously, this is awesome. Anyone I can bring down who would normally be on the cocktail lounge, awesome too. That's a big old
and I'm trying to see if I can set something up afterwards so everybody can go over. So
all right,
maybe our chat, because I know you don't want to go on for too long, Nick. So
I usually do like a 2-hour thing, but it's
that's the reason why I was trying to set.
I might go a little bit longer just for an exceptional tape, but no.
I'm looking forward to a remake of the Crying Game with a gent in that. I'm looking for a gender swap Crying Game.
I'm glad 70s. I don't know how long you've been listening. I don't know how long you've been listening, but I know you're a bit more of a normie, so you get to listen to this on the other end as, I guess, someone who's learning about the comics. You're hearing it from our end as people who understand the material and the lore. Have you gotten any takeaways from it?
Well, I guess you say I'm less of a comics fan, more of a movie TV fan myself.
Oh, yeah.
But I am a respecter of canon, regardless of where the original, whether it be a book or a comic or an OG show, and I see no good reason to change an established character unless there's some magnificent addition that can make to that character, and I'm struggling to think of any myself. I mean, I have no problems. I have no problems with a fantastic actor like, say, Idris Elba getting a particular part, but and indeed, an actor should be able to play anything. Actors should be able to play anything, but when it's done for the sake of tokenism, forget it. It's just a waste of time.
It's worse when they lie about it too. 70s, it's like what's his name, John Boyega. When he came out, it's like, man, they just hired me because of diversity. And we're like, well, we were all saying this for years, and now you're seeing that. Now you're seeing that, and it's no disrespect to John Boyega as the man, an individual himself. It was just one of those things where the writing was on the wall. That's not diversity. And maybe, obviously, it wasn't, but of course they lied to us all, like they always do. And then he finally. It took for him half a decade to finally see where we were coming from, rather than to be like the herd and write us all off as it's the phobisms. And whoa, Finite essay tip $10. I'm not splurging for Pizza Hut. Just order Little Caesars. Finite essay. I do love their breadsticks there, so I will spend that $10 and get some breadsticks. Thank you for the $10.
I can give you an example where I didn't mind, and in fact I did think it worked, which was Katie Sackhoff as Starbuck in Battlestar Galactica.
Okay.
She was fantastic as Starbuck, and I didn't see any problem with casting her in that role.
Okay.
Brian,
Awesome.
That was a gender swap.
Brian, I got to talk to Adama.
You got to, yes, I know, you lucky.
Only on Polly's,
person.
On the midnight.
I got
I was so happy, man.
My super chats, which was one for him and there was one for Blue, they were read out before they came on screen. So I was really disappointed.
All right. So, gentlemen, we have had a very great hour, 20-minute discussion on comic books and the faithfulness of translation into whatever movie, show, animation, etc., etc. we're gonna do another transition, and then after that, it's just gonna be anything goes. So we can make this quick if you guys want, and after that, it's gonna be kind of like just boys hanging out at the bar, shooting the shit, drinking the drink. So I want to know
actually,
whether
I'm gonna have to drop off right now.
Okay, well then we'll let you plug in, dude. We'll let you plug in. Fenrir, plug away.
Okay, I'm Fenrir the Ice Wolf. As I say in my videos, I hate everybody equally. I like nobody, just like the great J. Jonah Jameson. So fuck off if you don't accept that. Go to my channel, leave me a like, and if you have pictures of Spider-Man, just send them on my Twitter immediately.
Fenrir, thank you for joining us and thank you for your contributions, dude.
That's always good. Always great to talk with you guys. Stay in peace.
Thank
Take
you.
care, man.
Be
And
well,
stay
dude.
away from the cocaine, Pablo. Stick to the weed.
I don't do cocaine. I grow weed. I don't
Oh,
grow.
yeah. Yeah. We all know the fake story.
You guys. All right, Fenrir. Thank you, man. Seriously,
Take care.
you had a great take. Thank you, buddy.
You
Okay,
remember?
peace,
Well, and
guys.
have a good evening.
Peace.
All right. So, Jed, I'm gonna start off with you. Hold up. Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. The
Whoa.
Islington girl coming in hot. Tipping in a 320. Ooh, $3.20 saying pizza money. Pizza Hut in Canada is good. Islington, thank you for your 320. I appreciate that. Thank you. Anyways, comic books. Jed, what in comic book world are you reading, whether it's old or new? What is on your reading minds lately?
What the last ones that I read because
What is currently on your reading list? What are you currently reading? We all have something that we're going back to, like, you know what, I should read this right now. We all have that thing. What is it for Jed?
I was reading Maximum Carnage again the other day too.
Okay,
So
okay.
I don't hardly read any new stuff anymore.
Okay.
Unless you
like I
like
said,
recommend
old or
it and
new.
stuff.
Old
Yeah,
or
so-
new. I'm looking for whatever.
Yeah, it's. I just go back and read whatever on my comics. So Godzilla just read Kick-Ass for the first time. That's awesome. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I just have a bunch of my long boxes and stuff and just pick whatever. So
Nice. Okay.
I did read like last week. I can't wait for the fourth episode of The Last Ronin. So
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so you did have you did have one that you've been reading that's new. The Last one. Okay.
yeah, that was
It's
last
cool,
week.
bro.
So,
It's
yeah.
cool. No, it still counts as new. Like I said, new
Yeah.
could be whether it's newer come out in the last few years or in the past. I'm trying to be broad here with the spectrum. I'm
Oh,
trying
I
to
know.
see
I know.
what's on the reading list of the mind of the Jed.
Yeah,
And
I kind of gave up on modern comics except
That's
for
fine.
like Comicsgate stuff, you know.
yeah. But what about
So-
old stuff? Are you not reading anything at all?
Oh, I am. It's just I have.
What is it
like-
then? Tell us. Tell us what.
Well,
what-
no,
I literally want to know.
Well, I love my I love my JSA, like
which one?
like I got both of them. Well, not I got all the original, not the original, but the one that just was out when it restarted when they all came
Mhm.
back. But I have a ton of the originals, but I don't have a full set. I have a full run of the one that they started back in the 90s up until whenever they stopped it. So
All right, Jed, guys, I don't know how sensitive hearing is, but you might want to cover your ears for this because just another red shirt tipped me $20.
Holy
Wow!
moly.
Whoa!
You must think you're
Nice.
starving.
Whoa!
You think you're starving.
Whoa, Mr. Redshirt with get some good beer to go with that pizza. Redshirt,
Mm.
just for you, I will get the best beer that $20 can get me. Thank you. Oh my god, that is insane.
Cool.
Okay,
Good man.
cool.
He's a great man.
Yeah, he is. He's one of as VW like to say. He is the Redshirt, and he is one of our main mods around the community. Day in, day out, night in, night out, overnight into overnight. He is there behind the chair doing this for us, and we'll never appreciate his work enough. And when I meet you in Vegas, Red Shirt, we're gonna have to have a drink or 3 or 9. I mean, your
Red
wife will
Shirt.
forgive me. So thank you again, seriously. Thank you. That was just I didn't see that coming. I appreciate that. Vigilante Williamson. What is on your comic book agenda?
Well, I just finally got in Last Ronin 3, so I have to read that.
Okay,
That's
okay.
I have to read that. So that's it. And I want to kind of go back through the first, second, and third, just all read it all at once. So that's probably what I'm doing with my weekend. Is that or
Okay,
at some
okay.
point.
Anything old school that you've been like, no, I'm gonna binge read this.
Well, something old school. Shout out to 24/7 Fusion Media. It's your boy. He sent me this Detective Comics from like 67, I believe. It's just,
Woo!
yeah, or
Nice.
67 or 69. I can't remember offhand.
Love it.
But it's a cool issue of Detective Comics. It has a story. The main story is with Alfred doesn't know he's trying to kill Bruce and
Blockbuster story or the Outsider story. Sorry.
I think
ahead, I'm sorry.
I think it takes off of it. It just shows this is a
cool.
backup story to it.
Sorry about that. Go
And then
ahead.
there's another backup story, I guess, to with Plastic Man in it. It's a pretty cool issue. Just a pretty still
Nice.
well written. Still really well written. So it was good.
I meant Outsider. Block. I always get him to the views. He was Outsider. It was a time where Alfred was actually dead for a while because he became this creature called the Outsider and died fighting Batman, but then later came back. Sorry.
Yeah, this is him post comeback. It looks like, but still, I guess the Outsider has some control over him. It looks like he's still fighting it because he was able to tip them off, and that was the story. It was pretty cool. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Nah, dude, that's awesome. Fusion Media said you, and shout out to 24/7 Fusion Media. He's another channel. He's kind of got like a quartering, yellow flashing where he's popping in almost every day. Videos that just kind of keep you up to date. Yeah, he breaks news. He keeps you up to date on what's going on with a little bit of his take and opinion spin. So we need more channels like that, and I'm glad to see Fusion Media keeping up with the grind. So shout out to 24/7 Fusion Media, wherever that man is. Hail to him.
He's finally doing live streams now, which is cool.
I saw that. I tuned in for a few minutes on my car ride home earlier today, so I was listening. That guy, I love the sound of his voice. He's got a great voice.
He's got some stories to tell too, man. He told a story about being at a talent show with Destiny's Child and the griftiness of the music industry, which that part was sad.
Oh, but, not shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, not shocked at all. Oh man. Okay. No. Hey, VW. Once again, I appreciate that. You're adding to the conversation, which is what I always love. That we have people who contribute. So, Pablo, what have you been reading? Whether it's old comic, new comic, manga, what are you reading?
Okay. On old comics, I have been reading Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe.
Okay.
It's a fun run. I kinda got nauseous at the Square Girl because what they are doing with her now. But on that run, she was kinda enjoyable. Let's be honest. Other than that, on manga, I have been going back to Code Geass just to check it out. And yeah, other than that, I guess that's it. I read back again some Illuminati because of the Namor casting, and I noticed how bad they drop on the Marvel Cinematic Universe the ball because they killed Tony Stark and they tried to do Planet Hulk before getting Namor, before getting Reed Richards, before getting Black Panther into any kind of situation where he can be part of the Illuminati. And no, we will never have the Illuminati, and we already had Planet Hulk. I was thinking that they can, they can actually set up a way that I don't know, maybe it was the Illuminati that decided to set the Queen Jet to, if in any moment is with only Banner and Banner alone or the Hulk alone, it will go to space to get rid of the problem or something that they dropped the ball. They destroyed the possibility to have amazing stories and have the greatest minds of the Marvel universe doing something interesting. You don't even have to go with the existing Illuminati comics. You can do a lot with Robert Downey Jr. and at that point they had Chadwick Boseman. And Ruffalo is kind of an asshole, but he was good on some iteration of the
The
Hulk.
first Avengers, he actually felt like a Bruce Banner.
He was
The first
enjoyable.
Yeah,
Avengers.
that was the only time. Well, I would even say in Age of Ultron, he still kind of did.
Yeah, in Age
Yeah.
of Ultron, I really
He's
like
pretty
him.
good.
And so
Yeah.
you could have done that, and you could have these personalities going at each other because they are geniuses and they are trying to get the world. And in this case, if they let Tony Stark alive, they just have faced Thanos. They just have faced something terrible that almost destroyed the planet. That is a good justification to get the Illuminati, to get the biggest minds of the planet united to think a way to protect it. So that's a lot of wasted potential there. I was
Mhm.
reading that only because of Namor, but that set me into another path, and yes.
All right. Okay. No, dude. Thank you. Appreciate your take, and it's nice to hear some more. Awesome. I appreciate this, Sir Pablo, and thank you as always for joining me consistently the way you do. I know it's always nice, especially Friday night. We'll have a laugh. So I got the next
Ah.
fine gentleman here. I'm sure he's got something good, whether it's something I know or something I might even not know. Mr. Clobbering time. What's on the reading lately? Talk to us.
Well,
What should we all know about?
Well, I don't read any new stuff anymore. Just can't. In fact, I dumped out a good long time ago. I had been the most current things I've been getting the Dark Horse Orville comic because I love the Orville. I've been picking that up, but there's new issues that I haven't grabbed yet. But aside from that, I stopped buying almost all mainstream comics full stop, like for a few years back for the most part. And right now I've been reading an omnibus. I love omnibuses, even though of course they're heavy lifting. You get a hernia lifting one of those suckers. But I can sometimes you find a good deal, good prices on some of those. And I'm reading the Superman Batman Generations omnibus by John Byrne right now. I don't know if you're familiar with that series.
I know of it. I did not ever get to that series, and I'm well aware, and I'm even more aware of how you and Mark see. I do remember the early days of tuning into your channel. I was just a fan, you could say, and hearing you two have your opinions, I guess you could say, on John Byrne material. So that was always, and for me as a fan, that was such a great conversation to listen to.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, look, I have a lot of I love-hate thing with John Byrne. I love a lot of his work and despise a lot of it. But Mark C., my dear departed friend, he was the biggest John Byrne. Well, I used to tease him and say, you're the biggest John Byrne fan outside of John Byrne. Because Byrne is an ego. But because of some of my, I suppose, biases against Byrne, I never bought that series when it came out. It came out in the early 2000s or whatever. And recently, again, after the loss of my good friend a couple months back, I just so happened one day the hardback came out of the omnibus with all of it, both of the 2 4-issue miniseries, then the one that came out, the 10-issue one or 12-issue one that came out later, all in one big omnibus hardcover for really cheap on the site that I go to get, for cheap trades and hardcovers. And so I ordered it. And it almost a tribute to him in a sense because I've always, he wanted me to read it. Others have wanted me to read it. So about halfway through it right now, and it's pretty good. As a comic book art critic of sorts, John Byrne should never ink himself. Oh, it should never learn. And again, that's inside baseball stuff. Some people don't know what an inker is anymore, but his pencils, of course, were great when he had other inkers. But it's a pretty interesting story. What it basically is it starts Batman and Superman off in the Golden Age, in 38 and 39, and the DC and it ages them in normal time. In other words, as a character will go on for 20 years and then hardly age because their series doesn't age, which makes sense. You kind of understand that. But what if they did? And they had generations. It's called Superman Batman Generations. So about their family and their life and their long, crazy long lives as Batman and Superman and stuff. And it goes through their whole history, and it's pretty fascinating what if type of look. But there's some really disturbing stuff in it, though. It's not all that lighthearted as you might think it might be, because some of it starts out that way. It's pretty brutal, but it's pretty interesting the way so far. I'm enjoying. I think it's pretty good. There's some of it I hit some spots when they were in the 60s because they did it by decades at first.
Mm-hmm.
And some spots like in the 60s, like, oh my goodness, man. Wow, some of the stuff, what the hell's wrong with you, Byrne? But for the most part, I'm enjoying it, and I'll finish it up and then do a show about it eventually.
Cool. No, dude. Awesome. Thank you. And right here, Godzillionaire just tipped me some sweet money, man. You guys are wild tonight with a $5. So you can buy some quality Brie picks.
I agree with
I
TC.
would buy them just to give them to Matt. That's the only reason I get them, because Brie Larson is about where's my bucket of vomit? I can't find it, but
I think you can find those pictures on Only Brie.
on Only Brie. Well, thank you, Godzillionaire. Appreciate that.
Okay, do you wanna bet that she chose Brie as a name only because she wanted something that sounded slightly French, and also she was smelling like shit that day?
Yeah. I think it's because she wanted to be called a Bretard.
Retard. Oh my god. Oh, that is so freaking funny. Oh man, you guys are killing. And the Islington girl had a great comment here that was really funny. She's killing it, by the way, with these comments here. And I think I've lost, but damn it, Islington girl, just don't stop killing it. You're writing too many good ones, but. Oh, your cat! Oh, God!
Don't look at the feet.
He does not have appealing.
Why?
These are unappealing women. I mean, I would say there's some unappealing factors to bring.
Hey, hold on, guys! Before we go on, our buddy here, Sir Clobbering Times, has got to go. And Clobby, I thank you for joining us and being an excellent. I know, Deep Bud. A part of me is already crying. I can't show the tears right now. That's why I got the screen maximizing on him so he doesn't see my tears.
I'm sorry about that, man. I don't like making people on button and cry.
Yeah, you'll like the boys crying. Well, buddy, I mean, I'm assuming everyone who's listening here has got you plugged, but just in case, plug your channel away, sir.
Oh, well, it's called Clobbering Times, as you know, and but tomorrow night, it's 9 p.m. Central. The wonderful Raquel Briggs and I will be continuing our ongoing mission of reviewing all of real Star Trek 66 through 05 only. We'll finish up with our second leg of that, which is the animated series. We finish that tomorrow night, and then next week start on with the original crew movies. So we'll review those. We have a fantastic rockin' chat there that just is so much fun. If you're a Star Trek fan and you love the animated series and other Treks, hey, come see us. We'd appreciate it. And of course, Monday night Mark C Comics Talk. The great Stu Loki will join me. We will talk about Loki. I don't mean necessarily the TV show, the character, because maybe we might mention the show, but you know.
No, that's good that you're doing the character. I mean, the comic book character. I'll tune into that and listen before I have yelling at parked cars. So I can't wait as a fan. So cool. Hey, Cobby, I love talking to you every week. This has been awesome, and I cannot wait. We definitely got to figure out that time where hopefully I know you usually keep your Wednesdays open. I mean, I do. I'd say maybe within the next few weeks, we're gonna figure out where we can make one of those a sports panel on old school NFL. I think I see it coming, dude.
I would love that.
Wait.
Let's do it. Vid, you like that? Cool.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
You're invited.
Let's do it. Old school NFL.
It might piss off all the geeks that hang out with me on the channel, but I'll risk it for you guys.
Let's do it.
I want to talk some old school NFL.
I do.
Let's do it.
A lot of geeks, a lot of people say, well, I don't speak sports, and that's fine. I understand, but I do.
I mean, I'll speak. I'll sing it.
The only sport I love is NFL. NFL history, to be honest. I mean, I like I respect other ones, but I'm just an old school NFL guy, and I've had to, after 50 years of loving it, had to give it up this past year for certain reasons. But I still love the old stuff. I still watch them on YouTube, the old games that they have on there, the old NFL films. So you guys, Vid, you're in, man. Love to have you. Anyone else?
Yes. Oh, this is gonna be good. All right, Clobby.
Thank you, buddies. Everyone,
take care.
Cheers, mate.
Have a great night. We'll see you soon.
All right, Pablo, Jed, bro, Ironcaster. You guys take care. Thank you, Nicholas.
Bye-bye.
Noches de Dios.
Later, buddies.
Peace out, man. And by the way, Ironcaster, I love the headband.
Oh, dude, he wore that on Tuesday night when we were being toxic males talking about Commando. That was an awesome
Ken and
panel.
Ryu style.
Dude,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was
Style.
Actually, I think
Commando
this is
was a
my-
Or did,
wild panel.
Is that what's that insignia? I can't see it.
That's just Street
D-Bud.
Fighter.
I
Oh,
go
it is a
back
Street Fighter. Awesome.
D-Bud. I go back to the Ice Bowl days. That's how far back I'm willing to go. So I don't. So
Yeah, I'm willing to go
I
back to the Ice Bowl.
love old.
Hey, you know what?
NFL.
As a
That's
Lions
when it was
fan, I'm willing to go
football.
back to the 50s so we can
Let's
actually
do
talk
it.
about Lions and championships. It's the only time we ever will.
Yep, David Serta here. If you were there, you know. That's one of the old streams where you had to be there. The Commando stream, 70s here and Ironcaster were both there. They can say they were there. That Commando stream was off
Oh, it
the
was
chain.
awesome, my friend. It was awesome. You're doing such a
Damn
good
it, I
job.
missed it.
It was
Hey.
so insane.
Just for a second, I got a picture of Bree's feet I found if you want me to share it.
Hang on,
All right,
let
guys.
me
If you
finish
got a
this
weak
off
stomach,
first.
yeah. Finish your drinks. If you got a bite to eat or if you got a weak stomach, don't look. I'll make
Don't
this like
look.
a quick few
Look
5
away,
seconds.
look away.
Yeah,
Something
look
tells
away.
me I'm not.
3,
Something tells me I'm not.
4, 3, 2, 1, and
This is this is a picture of Bree's feet.
Oh God, no!
No, actually, those are
You don't
a
want to
bit
know
better.
where you don't want to know
Oh
where
shit!
that
Oh
thing's
my god! Are you playing the breathe? Oh, fuck! Oh man!
been. You don't want to know where that's been.
Oh, it's been up Nick. That's where it's been. I mean, not Nick. Not Nick. It's been up Matt.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry
right.
about that.
What is that?
That's Matt's play toy right there.
Yeah, Matt enjoys that too. Yes.
So
That's how
VW,
Bree tickles Matt.
VW. How did the rivalry start? Are you guys like fighting for the WWF Hardcore title? How did the rivalry start? I want to know where your rivalry started. This Attitude Era rivalry.
Do you guys want the kayfabe version or the shoot version?
We want the all-in version.
Okay, so I'll go with the K. I'll start off with the fake version, and then the actual thing. Well, actually, the actual thing is just we just wanted to make fun of all the drama. That's the actual thing.
Yeah.
But in kayfabe, listen, the same principle applies. What Matt's principle was that if the average guy would actually fuck Brie Larson, and so my thought is, listen, I'm not sure if anyone's dated recently, but these girls have gotten woke. The average girl is actually just as woke, if not woker, than Anita Sarkeesian. And so that principle just applies. Not only that, given the two now, I mean, not when Brie was younger, because she was hotter when she was younger, but given the two now, you rather smash Anita Sarkeesian. You probably rather smash neither. You probably want to have it on tape and a consent form for the me as well stuff for both. But if we're just talking, the new Williamson order, got Zillionaire gets it. But if given the choice between Brie Larson and Anita Sarkeesian, I know a lot of guys, I'd rather not. Like, come on. The average guy doesn't do the average guy, not the cool ass Eric K type who can fuck supermodels. I'm talking average. You would take Anita Sarkeesian over Brie Larson. It's just a factual statement.
I think the question is gonna be which one would you
That's
pick?
a bad one to choose.
Which
from,
one of the
too.
two if you had to pick?
No, Anita.
Oh, he would nail Anita like to a wall.
Yes.
I
would
see
clap
it.
those feminist
He
cheeks.
said that. Yeah,
He's
he
like-
said that.
Everyone's just looking like, what?
I see it this way. Okay.
You said the new NWO feels like Hogan just turned heel in the room. Like I'm ready for a fan to rush the ring.
I'm gonna throw a steel chair in from the audience.
No, I see it this way. Okay.
It's
If
like
you
Jim
have
Gill's got it
done
right.
if you have done the vasectomy and you cannot get any of those strangely annoying, I don't want to say twats, but that's basically the word I need to say. But if you have the vasectomy done and you cannot impregnate any of them, whoever you choose, you are taking a bad decision on your life. Is equally bad. But at least you won't be tired of to that woman anymore, so you can run away and disappear. So in Spanish we have a good phrase, basically means in any hole you can get there. You
Any
will
port in
be
a storm, as they say.
Any
port-
hole is a
Exactly.
goal.
Hey.
todo hoyo es
That's the
trinchera,
thing, yeah.
todo hueco es trinchera. So
I'm
yeah,
not saying these
that's
are good decisions. In fact, learn from me. Don't make these decisions. But a lot of us, they say don't stick your junk in crazy. A lot of us has broken that rule. Let's be honest.
I'll take Brie over Anita any day.
at that level, there's no difference. It's a shameful
Brie
act.
over Anita.
You are doing a shameful act. If you are doing it, you are doing it anyway. So
D-Bud. Guys, D-Bud's car.
I had heard Matt was thinking of a Brie Anita Eiffel Tower, though. So
No, it sounds terrifying.
Oh my god.
No, I'm
And David Serta just tipped me some sweet money here with a $2. Comes in Nick Weiser flavor number 69. Breeze Putrid Toe Jam.
I would probably sleep with him, but I'd want him to sign some kind of indemnity that if I developed mental health problems further down the road, that they would pay for the treatment because that would be their fault.
I'd still take Brie over Anita.
you don't tell them your real name. You don't give them your real phone number. You run like.
No, I'll tell Anita my name is Mike. It's not my real name.
As soon as you are finished, you don't even dress. You jump out of the window naked.
You're a bit of a player. You sound like a
you
bit of
just
a
go to the
player.
store for milk. Like, I gotta go to the store real quick. I'll be right back.
VW's like, I need to go for some cigarettes.
It's like the religious
That was
man.
a good
My name
time.
is Pablo.
I'll be right back. You want anything?
Yeah.
Can I have some skills? Yeah, I got you, babe.
No, it's like the religious
Come on.
mantis. You know your head will be eaten, so you just run. You escape. You preserve your life, and that's okay. When you get your dick sticking crazy, you run the day after. It's allowed. You never stick your dick in crazy, but once you have done it, you better run.
And
I've
isn't the girl not
a bit of a
wrong?
player.
Fucking Nina's 37 with no kids, been a feminist. I'm sure she has baby rabies, like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Set that boy on fire. I know this is, a grown folk talk. This is not the nerd talk you expect. But it's
Are you
real
saying-
stuff.
VW, are
in
you
these
saying that feminist is code for just gagging for it?
Oh, fuck yeah, most of the time.
Yes. That's what it is, man. You know she wants it.
She's
You
gagging
know
for
she's
it.
a freak too. And you know Anita's a freak. Bree looks like she'll just sit there and look at you.
Yeah, she's a plank of
Bree's
wood.
what? Yeah, she's like, hey Matt, just bounce up and down like.
No, okay. Bree looks like this kind of woman. She won't even be frigid about the whole thing. She will. You will get there.
That's real talk.
Okay, you are smashing another girl in your bed. Let's say you are married to Brie Larson. I know, terrible fate, but you are married to Brie Larson. She gets home and you are banging another chick. She will sit down there to talk to you about finances.
Oh, dude, David, that's fucked up, man. Bree and Amber tag team.
Well, it's like a Brie, Amber, and Matt Eiffel Tower situation.
Oh, dude, he wouldn't come out of that alive. It'd just be shit and toe jam everywhere.
Because I did hear Matt say that Matt wanted her to wear her Captain Marvel outfit for the whole thing, so that was the disturbing part.
No, you cannot team this kind of woman. You have to go one at the time. You cannot resist more than one.
VW put his mask on and go, I'm a crime fighter, and like smash her.
No, that's not the problem. The problem is that if you stick it in a way they don't like it, they will go, you are so misogynistic. You are getting into my ass. Sorry.
Shut up.
Anita takes it in the ass. Let's stop. We know that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
gotta
you know
agree
what he's
with
talking about.
him.
There's a,
VW
I can
knows.
guarantee. I can
He knows what he's
guarantee.
talking
I
about.
know.
Yeah.
The wrong hole is a microaggression. Fuck. No, that will be horrible. Sorry,
VW
I
made
take
a
it
good
back.
See, a woman even just admitted to it in the ass. She goes, they like it in the ass. Islington girl is preaching the
Look
truth
at him.
up in
Man,
there.
she's coming out some hard
She
truths.
preaching the truth up in here.
But you can look at Anita Sarkeesian's face.
You don't want to look
She's
at
overstepped her.
She's like, look at him.
She's overstepped her feminist bounds. She has too many wine and ascension dildo nights, and she wants to get her brains fucked. I can look in her energy. She fucked Neil Druckmann allegedly. Come on, allegedly.
Fuck Neil Druckmann, man. Come on.
There was a rumor. Remember? That was
a hate crime, man. That was a hate crime.
It's probably for his dick, man. He's like, that's a hate crime for his dick, man. Like, come on.
She'll make you the stepdad.
You guys do remember that rumor, though, right? That,
I remember that.
Certain other guy was supposed to be Druckmann. When the Last of Us came out, there was a rumor to that effect. It probably is bullshit, but it seemed believable.
After Zoe Quinn, I will not be surprised. I won't. You know, the whole Gamergate.
D-Bug's like over there. He's like,
people are leaving. I don't know what. I actually need to leave.
All right, we're good to go.
Yeah, the blindfold might be the best way to handle this. But I hate to put all this madness on you and then just bounce. But I actually got to go.
It's okay. We're gonna be wrapping up in the next 10 minutes anyway, so it works out nicely. So if you gotta go now, that's cool.
The VW spite earlier, though, it was a good way to take the drama and turn it into something fun, and
have fun with
get
it.
Away from that. Yeah.
Talk crap, make it a whole wrestling
T. Williamson, it was a pleasure to have you on the Friday Night Comic Talk.
It's a pleasure to be here, man.
Yeah. Thank you for your 420. I appreciate that.
Just for whatever, man. Whatever.
Hey, I love it. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
plug your channel, dude.
I more than appreciate being on this. I have a channel. It's a Vigilante Williamson. I finally have a PO box for those interested on the channel about page. I talk about pop culture. I talk about geek stuff. I'm starting to do retro gaming, and I'm going to start to play off real carts. So yeah, Neil's a complete soy latte. He gave in willingly. But that's my point. If Anita's willing to fuck Neil Druckmann, well, she may not have been. It's a rumor, but she would fuck me. That's just honesty. But anyway, if I don't talk about this almost on the channel, so you're grossed out. There's non-gross stuff. Well, I don't know about gross, but just there's good stuff on my channel. Super Mario World, Tetris, and pop culture talk. And some of the takes I gave today, I gave earlier on VW Casual, because this week or the next couple of weeks, since I'm off of work, I'll be doing a lot of streaming. So thank you for having me. I'm actually Mead has a late night stream, so I'm joining that. That's what I'm doing. And I appreciate you having me. And I will see you guys later. All right, peace out.
Killer. Later, dude.
Take care. So here's the next big challenge, guys. You're stuck on a desert island, and there's one person there with you, and it's Lena Dunham. Now, would you or wouldn't you?
Jump into the water to feed myself to the sharks?
Lena Dunham. Would you or wouldn't you?
Man, I would have to be super.
Okay, after that, can I kill myself?
I don't.
She's in a different class of.
I really wouldn't want to nah, dude. I couldn't.
So, what would be the male equivalent for the ladies in the chat? I guess it would be like a Daniel Kibblesmith, perhaps, or
you mean the motherfucker that is afraid to kiss a woman? He's like
Daniel Kibblesmith.
Very cool.
Kibblesmith.
The only reason why that woman married him is because he got money. That's the reason why. She got a side guy.
He has a huge wallet.
Yeah.
Huge. Don't worry. Wallet. The condom has never been used.
I need some internet gas with that. Oh, you're killing me. Oh, too funny. That was good. Oh, that was beautiful. Oh my god!
Torch the place, burn it with fire.
She has been the Friday Night Comic Talk MVP, and it's all because the MF or cocktail launch. I'm glad you came in here and brought your amazing knowledge of comedy here, Islington. You need to be on stage and saying these things because we would all be having heart attacks laughing at this shit. And then TC here, I would make Sweet Love to her probably write a poem also.
It may be sweet for her, but not for you.
Yeah, Islington, if you want to, hit me up on Twitter and I'll bring you on a live stream sometime if you want it. Just a dork.
Come on.
Yeah, bring her on. And like, we do some crazy stuff on the weekends.
Oh,
yeah. We like this last Sunday was crazy. So, yeah.
Don't worry, we are all dorks.
Yeah,
basically,
we're all dorks.
Actually, now that you mention that, Pablo, I got a bone to pick with you, Nick. You called me a normie. That's fighting.
Well,
talk.
I said as far as comics, you're a normie.
Yeah. You can call me an oldie, but don't call me. Don't ever call me a normie.
Okay.
Don't call me normie.
As far as Game of Thrones goes, I'm a normie when it comes to Game of Thrones. Like, I don't know anything about Game of Thrones, so in that context, I feel like that makes me a normie.
Nick, when Nick was on, I don't know. Did you get on there early yesterday, Nick, on the GGG? Were you on there early?
Yeah, we had the game. Spoke about it with Raquel.
Yeah, oh, dude, I got heated
awesome.
on that. I got heated on that. Like,
oh yeah, I mean, it's a passionate topic.
Yeah,
and it happens. I think we just need it. We're coming from very different angles. I think we just need to figure out where we can meet in the middle. I feel like by the time the end of that conversation happened, we had all finally realized where each and every one of us was coming from that point. Because you have Raquel coming from the writer side, you coming from the fan side, and me and Claudia coming from the normie side of things. So I feel like once we had enough clarification, we understood, okay, now we see why you say this and why that. It all made sense at the end. There was a lot of confusion at first, 70s. It was about Game of Thrones and the whole controversy with George R.R. Martin. That's his name, right? George R.R. Martin.
Was that the Clobbering Time stream? Or?
Yeah, it was on the Global Gate. Iron, get that pussy out of your face.
Whoa.
He's doing his best Blofeld impression.
But,
so the Game of Thrones, as in the complete and utter dog's bollocks.
I was talking about the TV show and the books and everything. And I brought up the argument that he was disrespectful to the fans. Saying, so.
In terms of not finishing the books, or just in terms of some of the things he said?
Some of the things he said that disrespected the fans. He goes, "Well, you guys don't run my life. I don't." Blah, blah, blah. I was like, and I said, "Dude, you promised 7 books in a series. You flat out said there's going to be 7 books. No ifs, ands, or buts." And then he made a couple other promises that he never held up to.
He's made promises, and he's made there is an implicit contract with the fans to the sense that they expect that to be delivered. I mean,
it's also been a decade.
Yes, it's been a decade, and it's not like they don't pay for his lifestyle.
Yeah, I said that too. I was like, the fans actually pay for him buying that bloody choo-choo train that he got and all this other bullshit. You would think. He was in that cabin for a year, okay? Yep. He didn't get a damn bit of work done.
Then he watched a lot of porn, though.
Yeah. He bought a train and watched porn. Yeah. Didn't work on the book at all.
I wish he would admit, he should just admit that he's dried up. He's written himself into a corner. Yeah. He doesn't know how to finish it. And there is no prospect of him finishing it in the near future. Yeah. Just be honest about it.
That's what I said.
I'm not going to finish it.
That, or you know what? Maybe he needs a break from it, and that's why if he signed up to these other projects, he could say, "Listen, I got to take a little bit of a detour, find my way, and then maybe once I come back from the detour, I'll have a fresh set of inspiration to finish it up." But all he has to do is admit that he's a human being, and I feel like a lot more people would be more understanding than it is to realize. It feels like nowadays, and I mean, people continue to say there's a disconnect between what fans want and what the bigwigs in Hollywood want, whether it's the actual elites or the writers and directors themselves. And I feel like this further validates that point. It's just like just talk to us on our level, communicate with us, and it would help, because it would feel like you are a human being just like us. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with him saying, listen, dude, I'm not getting this done. I'm messing up. I can't do it. Maybe I need to take a break and find my way. I feel like that's more commendable. Yeah, he's only human, and I can accept that. I can accept that. If I was a fan,
honest about it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's all, dude. Nick, that's all I want him is just be honest. Go, I can't do this book. We're gonna stop right here.
Yeah,
exactly. We all do that.
But
there's a job that we don't want to do.
That, he has been going away from the project a lot. He is doing the Elden Ring. Before that, he has been doing a lot of other projects. He has been wasting a lot of time, and that is him saying, I cannot do this, and I will go to do something else until I have the inspiration. But he never says us,
right?
He never told us that
he could just slip away in the night and pass away. No, I wish.
He's got enough money to slip
him,
away wherever he wants to.
I'm not wishing that on him, but it could happen, and then it'll never happen anyway. So, he could.
This is the fact. It will happen. But one day or another, it will happen.
Yeah, we all have the jobs that we don't want to do. I've got to fix the fence. I know I've got to fix the fence, and you'll find 10 other things to do before you get round to that. Yeah. That's what he's doing. It's very human, but he just won't admit it. Now, in my opinion, and it may be controversial, I think he should bring in a collaborator to help him finish the books.
Yeah, I agree with you. So
writers do it all the time, and then when they're tired of it, they hand off to that writer, and they continue to write those stories under their own name, but with his name underneath. Created by so and so. He should bring in a collaborator if indeed he's got one he trusts. So, I think.
The guy's 72. He's not exactly a spring chicken.
He's more like a spring hog than a spring chicken at this point.
we give the woman that did Harry Potter shit, but she at least finished 7 books. 8 books.
And
right?
at the time span that she did too is impressive.
Yeah, she did it like book after book after book after book, and she's like, okay, I'm done. Tolkien did all his books.
Yes, it happens. I mean, writers there's plenty of writers in their 70s and 80s who get others to write the books for them. They ghostwrite.
Yeah, that I remember that. That was the big rage back then. It does happen. Yeah. If he does have writers, but I just wish I just come out, be like honest, like I can't do this, because it's been 10 years.
I know.
Since the last book.
Godzillionaire's got a good point there about the criticism, but he's also suggesting that maybe he's written it and he just doesn't want to release it for some reason. Maybe it's done and he's like, nah, I don't like this, it isn't good. And he's just spinning this out and a lot of authors have stuff published.
This is an interesting one. Finite essay, y'all spoiled. Try being a Black Company fan back in the 80s and 90s. I'm trying to get where he's coming from on that.
Try to be a fan of Hunter x Hunter or Berserk. Berserk, right now we know it won't even finish because Miura died. That is set on stone. There's nothing left to do. And Hunter x Hunter is called hiatus ex hiatus for a reason. So in manga, we are already just used to this. The real issue is that he is not being honest, that he is messing up, that he is appearing on a lot of places. And let's be honest, the series got him a lot of fans like me that never read the books until we found the series. We got into the dream, and now we know that he will never finish it. So
we got some interesting comments here. Pat S. here, 72, the heart of a 121-year-old. And Zach7, I didn't acknowledge you, so here's me acknowledging you, sir. Welcome. I see you've been here for quite a few minutes now. Thank you. And the Isling Tarot, once again, she's just awesome with the comments here. Many authors are more prolific than Martin. Bar's pretty low if it's a decade, right? And now I think he's rewritten a bunch because of the woke era. And that is something many have said. So, and that's something that I've wondered about. And then Finite here, in the days when you really didn't know what the hell's going on, aka the mystery. And then the Black Company is the book series. See, once again, this is where my normie shrunk. I don't know that particular fandom, so I'm a bit clueless on it. It looks like 70s and then Iron Cats are some things to say. So 70s, shoot off.
There's a lot of authors who, when they get to the latter stages of their career, I'm pretty convinced they bring in ghost writers and they do it for them. I think one I can think of in particular is James Lee Burke, who's in his 80s now, the Dave Robichaud series. I'm pretty convinced the last couple of those books have been written by somebody else because the style is very different. And the same for the Jack Reachers. I think Lee Child is farming out writing Jack Reacher books to other people. So there's no reason that, and I mean, he wouldn't say that, but I think but looking at the style of them, they seem different. So I think George R. R. Martin could easily do the same thing, but maybe he's just too proud of it, wants to hold on.
Could be, yeah, no, he could be. Now, Ironcaster, go ahead and send off with your point, and then we're gonna call this a conclusion, folks. So go ahead, Ironcaster.
Honestly, I don't really have much more to say, just other than the fact that it's been a decade and something would be appreciated for the fans. I mean, I've heard guys like Gary have gone on about how they think that the books are largely going to end the same way that the show did, and he's kind of if he's afraid of that reaction from the audience, the idea that the show is what he was intending is not going to go over very well. But I don't really know what more to say other than the fact that something would be nice within the last decade of this, which is I'm kind of repeat myself there, but I
hear you, man.
Like the guy's 72 years old. He's still going. Good for him. And he's picking up all these projects like he's trying to do anything but do that
Swinging the
last
lead.
2 books.
Yep. He doesn't want to do it, and I think if I was to give my opinion, I think it's because he doesn't know how to finish it.
Here's another. Okay, so I'm gonna read these last 2 comments here, and I wanted the reaction to show made him hit pause, and that's another good one. And I'm glad you guys are all saying because there is so much wondering to what could have made this happen. I definitely know that reaction is what caused a lot of these spin-offs and prequels and sequels to die off or AKB put on extended hold. We all know that. The jury's out on that. And now we'll read off New Bomb's comment, and then we'll start plugging. I'm not sure if I agree with the he should stuff. Maybe he just doesn't want to. So be if it doesn't get finished. Killer. All right, guys. Well, once again, you know how my style. I like to end it while it's still hot, while the iron's still hot. And right now we're at a peak where the chat, as people are coming and going, we're still at a near peak of the chat. We didn't lose any momentum this entire stream. So, and Pablo, I mean, you've been my consistent throughout this entire thing. I mean, these continue to get bigger and bigger each time. This has been our most consistent one here. At sometimes we were in the early to mid 20s. So this has been awesome. So, guys, thank you also all for coming on, talking comics to Game of Thrones with us and to the chat. Hopefully, we're a fine, suitable substitute, at least for a temporary hold until because of no cocktail lounge, or I know a lot of you guys are going to be going on the Midnight's Edge After Dark in a minute, which is awesome. I'll be seeing a lot of you there in the chat. So we're going to get plugging on some channels, starting with Ironcaster.
Who, me? No. I'm Ironcaster, and I'm around to talk about some big bots. I've got a show on Monday where I'll be talking about the original 1979 Mobile Suit Gundam. We'll be getting into episode 5, so we're really early in the show to be able to jump in. I put on a slideshow so you get to see the gist of what happened. I mean, yes, it helps to watch. I should probably get a video coming up. Netflix has a few Gundam series coming out, and I figured people are probably gonna want to know, what order to watch things in. So maybe that's something I can get out this weekend. But to give one comic recommendation that I kind of missed that.
Do it.
I just from Indiegogo, Sovereign Wolf.
Woo! There
About a
you
bunch
go.
of
There you go.
shape-shifting werewolves fighting an evil corporation. Oh, and that art
Oh,
is
that looks
beautiful.
good.
That does look good. Yes. Hey, guys, see you all. Keely Chow, Zach7, TC, the Islington Girl, New Bomb Turk. Thank all of you guys. Pat S, D Bud Martin, just another red shirt, Finite. Like, you guys, seriously, you guys are killing it in the comments.
We
Pat
had
S,
an
got
awesome
Jillian
chat,
there.
man.
The Critzable the Craze. Oh, he calls right as we were leaving, Critzable. Please catch the replay, bud. Fun chat. Hey, you have an even better one. I'll be in the chat for Midnight's Edge. There's many art people who dropped in earlier, and you guys gave me almost $60 in tips. You guys are freaking insane. David Serta as well. Critzable Craze, I do apologize. As I do on my Friday nights, I usually keep around 2 to 2:15. That's my goal to do that. So please catch the replay. I promise it's worth it. We had an outstanding conversation on here that I promise is worth your time, Critzable. So hopefully when you do, you'll be able to come back on the comments. But you know what, Nick? You were right. This is worth the replay. So I apologize. But till then, one more thing you want to plug in? Oh, big old epic Thor collection.
If you got Loki on the brain, you might as well go to the origins. I recommend The Mighty Thor.
Woo! Critzable, you are admirable. You are
Volume
admirable.
1. Start from the beginning.
Pop Culture Republic, thank you. All right, cool. Ironcaster, thank you. That 70s rock fan. What do you got in the next 24, 48 hours, my friend?
I'm working hard on another music video, which for my channel about a band from the 70s called City Boy, British band.
Ooh.
And then I'll probably, if Jed will have me, will pop up on his Pop Culture Archivists over the weekend.
Yeah, well, we're gonna do 2 of them this one, so.
Yes, so I will be on there somewhere. And Nick, buddy, I'd like to thank you for inviting me on here. And you are nobody's substitute. You are the man. So.
Oh, dude, thank you. I always, to me, I just try to be suitable substitute. But if I can be anything more than that, then awesome.
You ain't nobody's substitute. You are the man, sir. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thanks.
Pablo, what do you got this weekend coming up, dude? What's happening on Saturday and Sunday for you?
Saturday we have Progressive Park with Jed, with Ash, and Brian also appears a lot here. So, man, Nick, you gotta come. I have a plan. I want to do Saturday's morning cartoon retrospective or something like that. So I want us actually eating cereal, just talking about the shows, enjoying our lives.
I love that idea.
Someone just had to do this as we're coming out. Philbo Baggins here with a $5. Great stream, dude. Stay metal. Oh my dude, I promise, dude. Thank you, Philbo Baggins. Oh my god, you guys are insane. I love Philbo. Thank you guys. Seriously, these tips are insane. You guys, you know I would give a guy love, and oh man, I'm sorry. I'm blown away. But anyways, Pablo, finish up. I'm sorry.
No worries, man. And $65, that's a hell of a pizza.
Yeah, right. Oh man.
Other than that, Sunday, Pop Culture Archivist with Jet and T-shirt the Historian. That's the one I was missing on my brain. So yeah, it's going to be a nice weekend, man. Let's enjoy it.
It's gonna be a full weekend.
It is. All right. And then last but absolutely not least, Jed, what's happening this weekend with the Pop Culture Archivists?
Well, we're gonna be doing E3 stuff all weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, and so yeah, Pablo, you're welcome to come over there, dude, on tomorrow too. So
yeah, man.
Ash is hyped about this. So yeah, we're gonna be doing tomorrow's gonna be Lethal's gonna be doing his stuff over there. I gotta plug the full Aussie tomorrow morning even though I'm not gonna get to be there the whole time. Tomorrow morning on Lethal's channel, they're gonna be okay. We're gonna have a film star over there on Lethal's channel, okay, that does some really fun movies that I think we would all love.
Mhm.
We're gonna do the E3 thing live tomorrow morning. One of the first conferences. So I forgot which one it was. But yeah, and then on Sunday we're gonna do the big show because they're gonna have the Xbox Bethesda show, and we're gonna do that live. So you guys can come over if you guys want to watch it. Come over there, chill, and have fun with us. We're just gonna be bullshitting about games and rip on the games like, hey, that is bullshit. Why did they do that? You know how we are. We're honest over there. So but I'll be on with Pablo too after that. So I got like 4 streams. Well, no, I'm modding Lethals, but I got that, the video game, and then Pablo's, and then T-shirts, and then on Sunday we have the other one. So the main show.
Jed, buddy, I can save you some time about the Bethesda one. There'll be 4 hours, and they'll announce 2 things that'll come out in 5 years.
I know, right?
So I can save you some time, okay?
Yeah, this is the first time we've had a 2-show weekend. So,
Jed, you deserve it, man. Keep it up, dude. Hey, you're doing awesome, man. Don't stop and chat. This is awesome. Y'all came in here. You commented like there was no tomorrow. You were even more interactive than you ever were. And man, you're some great comedy too. I mean, Islington Girl, shout out to the Islington Girl, guys. I mean, big shout out to her and everyone else in the chat. You guys are all killing it. You guys gave me $60 in tips. You guys are wild. And to this awesome panel I have, that was Revolving Door of the Clobbering Times and the Fenriers and the VWs, Ironcaster 70s, and of course the men who were with me from the beginning to end today. Well, Jed, and then Geek Tripology. This has been awesome. You'll have a good night. I'll see you over a few minutes in the Midnight's Edge chat. All right? Be well.
Ooh.
Smoke pizza. Smoke pizza. And drink weed till we all do this again.
Smoke weed every day.
And smoke some beer for me. All right? And now, together, we're going to cue the music. Na 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 na. Hey.